I'm pretty sure it's episode 5.
Wait,
I think it's episode 5. Okay, episode 5 of the AniMangaHEADZ podcast. What's up? Here with Laz, Vince, Alan. The homies are here. All the great family heads. Yeah, we have arrived. Kind of an impromptu episode today. Usually I have it planned out a little bit better, so I don't know. But I know some of you guys have been waiting for the next episode, so we're going to hop right in. First thing I want to talk about basically is any upcoming winter or fall anime that we are excited for. Anything we're looking forward to? Because I feel like most of us have kind of fallen off on anime. At least I know I did bad. So like it's very rare for me to be excited for something, and I'm kind of excited for winter.
I mean, this is something that we talk about all the time, though. Like, because at the end of the day, when you watch an anime, that's like 20 to 30 minutes of your life that you're not getting back. You know what I mean? And if you were reading the manga, you could demolish like 20, 30 chapters maybe in that same amount of time, right? So why stress yourself about like, wasting time doing all this other stuff when you could simplify the whole process? But honestly, like I'm looking at the fall lineup, there was nothing that really caught my attention except like maybe the Fooly Cooly stuff. Radiant. I know a lot of people are into like Golden Kamui. To be honest, like I don't like the animation that much. I prefer like the manga as well.
I still watch it, but the manga is better. But I do watch it though. Yeah.
And then obviously Hinu Marazumo I thought was going to be interesting because I like the manga. And then there's Sonotoki Kanojo. I thought like the artistry in that and the animation, I think it looks really good from what I've seen so far. So I think that I might be interested in watching that. But outside of that, like why would you make Ingress of all things into an anime? Like it doesn't even make any sense. Like it's an app. Like it's a cell phone app, right? Like augmented reality cell phone app, and now you want to make an anime, bro? No, you're not doing this. Like this is a foolish.
I forgot what series they did that too. If it was something Holmes, it was like a vampire one they did once, where it was an app, and then they put it into an anime. I'm just like, why?
like that's not cool, man. Like that's not fun. Nobody likes.
Yeah. I don't know. They did some weird shit.
I think that Conception was getting one too because. I think Naya, you're the only one who's played it aside from me, right? Like, why did that need an anime, bro?
Congratulations on your arrival. It was so stupid. I can't be my fault. I had a great time though. It is the first one, right? It's not even the second one, right? Is it the first one like "Please Bury My Child"? That one?
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh Lord, I played some fucking children.
Yeah, I mean the other ones I'm kind of interested in seeing just because like some of the older titles like Karakuri Circus, which is the anime has been done by Studio Voln. So basically the mangaka who wrote it was the same one that did Ushio Tutora, I believe. So like that has my interest because like it's an older series and the fact that like a lot of more older manga titles and stuff that never got anime adaptations during its time are finally getting it now. And I mean it's interesting from there. Production IG has that Kazeka Suyoku Futeru series, which is basically like on like track running. And, like,
that's dope.
My only thing that's like I don't know really is a gripe, but like the main character is very similar to Tobio Kageyama from like Haikyuu. So like when I see that, it's like make him a little different, make him unique.
Y'all didn't even try.
Nah, man. Like you look at him like you can't tell me that ain't Kageyama.
I'm looking at the picture right now, and I'm like, this is Kage.
Yeah, bro, you can't fool me. Like, and then the other guy looking like Ushijima, like his kid version. Like, I don't know, man. Pretty well, but I mean, like fall season, there's a lot of mid, probably a lot of mid. But I mean, there's some gems. Probably, I feel like that's the thing with now like seasonal anime where it's like you won't know really what's a great series until it's like 9-10 episodes in where you have people all of a sudden say, oh, so and so like Hanebado, for example, right? The anime on badminton. Like I liked it the first couple episodes, but I kind of fell off on it. And then I hear like people saying like, yo, this might be one of the standouts this season. So
they're lying. They're lying.
Okay, I got some that I'm interested in, even though I barely watch anime like that more. But Goblin Slayer. So
I heard that one.
Oh, that's a light novel, right? I've been hearing about it.
So I like Goblin Slayer. I like the manga. I don't know nothing about the Zombie Land saga, but I'm up to something different, something new. I don't know. It's probably gonna flop, but shit.
I'm in agreement with you on that one, yo. Because like I love the like almost chibi-esque kind of look that they have going on there.
Right.
So,
yeah.
Like,
and if
it look really cute, like horror, very violent. Yeah. Yo.
Yeah. If it's actually a horror, like I'm good for that. I mean, I like what's that shit?
Think it Made in Abyss, like.
No. Why can't I say that shit right now? But anyway, it was the Sensitas Cry or whatever. Forgot what it's called right now. But it's a horror anime because I'm trash and I don't remember. And also the Maruzumo. Thing.
I've heard a lot of people hype that up.
I mean, I've never read the manga. It's been on my list for like an eternity, and I never picked it up. So, but those are the three I'd probably be interested. Everything else looked like some slice of life rerun with the same characters with different hair. So,
Actually, because that's the whole thing. I'm against watching a series that's already a manga because I could just read it, right? So I prefer when like the light novels get it done and when the originals come out. Then I think that those like have good potential.
But if it has good animation, which is a stretch because they don't always have good animation, a lot of them are lacking. But if it does, I would like to see it.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Well, we know I need that so cool audio Monogatari.
Hey.
But I just learned yesterday that it's gonna be a movie instead.
Oh, okay.
And I think I heard that it's gonna be playing in theaters, which is another pain in my ass. Because I gotta wait even fucking longer for it to come. Like goddamn it, whose phone is that?
Sorry, that's me. I'm turning it off right now. That's
like so like fuck. I'm like God, I just wanted to just drop the episodes so I can just watch it, but it is what it is. So hopefully I get to see that by the end of the year. That would be ideal.
That's honestly me with like Fates, honestly, because like when they put out Heaven's Feel, I thought I was getting a show, and then it's like 3 movies, and I'm like, one, those movies are not getting bought because I'm not selling my kidney. And number 2, I'll wait till like when it's on like a deal at like a Costco or some shit.
It's all good. You'll just get a little bit of your liver slice stuff,
Yeah, man. I'm gonna take a page from like Naya's book and be like, yo, torrents out. But like,
torrents are out.
Piracy, man. I mean, sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do. What can you say?
Yeah.
I'm a huge fan of Absurd Magical Index. So season 3 is finally getting animated by JC staff. So we're gonna be back. Like Novel Boys in the building. So I need that shit. Can't wait. I don't even know how long it's gonna be, how many episodes or whatever, but it just like finally I wanted them to animate more things in that because so much shit happens beyond what we've seen so far. I know there are a bunch of K movies. I haven't read or watched K in so long.
Right?
With the Kings stuff. What's his name? Suo Bukoto?
Yeah, yo.
I haven't watched any of that shit in so long, but I think they're dropping like 4 movies. Something crazy like that. I don't know, man.
Honestly, they called it a project, and they weren't kidding with that, So they're actually going ham on explaining everything about everything in that universe. I think it's amazing, but I think that it's a lot to take in because they're switching so many different mediums.
Yeah.
Because you got manga, you got light novels, you got like TV series, you got movies. Like, bro, you guys are just hitting everything at this point.
Honestly, next in winter we got season 2 of Mob Psycho. I really like that anime.
Yeah, 100%. That's gonna be fire, man. Because the manga I believe wrapped up not too long ago. So like I'm curious to wonder like how many episodes it's gonna be. Because if it concludes at the end, we're probably gonna be expecting some great stuff. Because people, from what I've heard from said of Mob Psycho's manga, it ended on a good note. So I mean I'm curious to see how that's gonna come. Because Mob Out, like
big fact.
Yeah. I'm just saying though, winter is good. That fire.
It is. I mean,
fire, yo.
For me personally, like I would have been excited for Kagekuguri, right? But like the second season, from what I was told, is that it's probably gonna be like a non-canon thing because of the amount of material it's out in the monthly manga. So I'm kind of on it, but at the same time, it's like I liked what I saw from season 1. I like the characters a lot, so like I'm personally fine with it because it's like everything doesn't have to be canonical every single time. Like if you want to bridge things out a little bit and have your own stories and stuff, like why not? Because at least you're building attraction to a series, and then when you have the canon material afterwards, go back to the story. You can just do that afterwards.
I think that's good, but you got to like really balance how the storytelling is done then, right? Because if you got 2 different like authors working on a similar thing, then like you don't want to drag away from the original premise, right? Or the original tone of how the story is done. So I think like in terms of that, you got to be really sensitive. right?
Yeah.
I don't know if that's gonna be that, but we'll see, right?
Yeah, I feel like if you were in a situation like if you ever see like with Detective Conan, like with their plot, it's like yeah, they have a lot of stuff that has to deal with the main timeline, but because of the way the story's already been done, if they were to go into say filler in the anime or something for I don't know 6 months, 7 months, to its benefit, it can do that because it's already established itself of what the series is about. So at least if they need to stretch out time so they can get into the next story bits because it's too close or whatever it is the case may be, at least they can do that. Kagurui, I think I kind of can do that as well. Like maybe at least 12 episode seasons and stuff based on like the games and stuff that they do. They could pull it off as long as like the gap between seasons is enough where it's like you can actually go back and do canon material afterwards.
I just think it's a really shallow series. I get it. It's just thoughts and gambling. And I win it. Like, don't get me wrong, because I read it until I caught up, but then the novelty wore off and I just didn't revisit it. I might have watched like 2 episodes. It's not like I don't dislike it. I don't actually think it's that good. I was just watching it for the thoughts. That's what I was there for. And then the City Hunter movie I care about. So I love City Hunter. So
I'm sad that it hasn't gotten a remake yet, the anime, because I've been wanting to peep that for a long time, even though in the manga. But I'm just waiting to hear like, oh, a remake coming out or something,
Yeah. City Hunter, I'm an old fuck. I like old shit. So all I watch is 80s.
Honestly, I think for City Hunter, all I've seen is the drama and not the actual like anime manga.
Oh, okay.
So I don't know that that's the same, but I think I could be interested because of that, like because I have got that background, so I might check that out as well. But honestly, I'm more excited for that Promised Neverland, my guy.
Yeah, here's the thing. I'm happy for the project itself. I really am excited to see how this can be done. I'm just not happy with the people that are going to be like distributing it here in North America. Because it's being done by Amazon. Amazon's the one that's gonna be distributing it, and they are notorious for putting shit out late. Like sometimes you'll get an episode on time, you'll go 2 weeks without an episode.
Oh man, that's gonna be rough, man.
And I'm saying like it's like of all the series that had to get this freaking thing, it had to be Neverland. So that's
but at least
trash.
we are getting it though. That's the whole thing. Yeah. Like they pulled it out fast too because
TORRENT out.
Like TVN hasn't been out that long. That's the thing, right? And neither has actually another one that's also getting an anime, Kaguya-sama, hasn't been out that long either. Like we just recently passed maybe 100 chapters. So like that's also getting what, bro? I'm so hyped.
Yeah.
Everybody should be reading Kaguya-sama because that's what I read that first chapter and I stood up from my seat. Right? Like it's that fire.
I read I read the first volume. I liked it, but the spinoff, like I was reading the spinoffs afterwards instead, and they were actually hitting. So I might have to
too. That's a thing, yo.
Yeah, so I might have to get back into it after. I like it, but I feel like it's one of those where it's like if any series where it's like the first part is like it's good, but you have to kind of see more into it to see why people kind of rate it so highly.
100%.
Yeah.
Though, like if you ask me, it's just like the comedy is there, right? Like they just hit like the good tones when it comes to the comedy of like romance and whatever. I mean, like the way that they're treating it's like it's all very serious, all very romantic, like high school-esque, and then like things just pick up.
I want to know this because like for the terms of the comedy, because I've laughed at quite a few things in that first volume, but I've heard from some people say that because it benefits like it's a seinen manga, that the similarities in comedy are kind of that to like Gintama when it goes like into the crazy stuff, and because of the fact that it's seinen, they can kind of get away with certain jokes and things. So like, do you kind of get that vibe? Like,
yeah, 100%. It gets wildly ridiculous sometimes.
Because I love the comedy for Gintama. If you tell me Kaga has that, I'm with it.
Yeah, trust.
Sir Simmy.
I think everybody should be on
that.
You're
Simmy.
What is going on? How you doing, brother?
You're recovering from that sleep,
Oh Jesus, I was sleeping so good. I thought today was fucking Sunday.
Damn, bro, that's not your gimmick. You're not King Sleep.
I don't know. The echo, I didn't even hear. I don't know. But what upcoming fall or winter anime are you excited to watch?
Man, listen, I have to pull this shit up. I'm looking through this shit right now. I'm gonna just go through the whole line. Well, for starters, Tuaru Majutsu no Index is a must. This Tensei Shitara Slime Data Kid looks kind of cool. I might not watch it, but who knows? I still don't know if I'm gonna watch the Golden Kamuy anime. I really don't like the art style of it. I think the art style doesn't do the manga any justice at all. So
100%.
I saw a scene. I saw
Yeah.
a scene from the anime, and it was pretty funny, but the art just looking way too bland for how good the art is in the manga. It was just irritating me the whole time. Looking through this other shit, I don't care. Oh, Hinomaru Zumo finally getting anime should be
Right?
absolutely
Yeah, man.
fire. That's going to be fire. I mean, that's just instant watch. Sports anime by itself. Like, who's animating it? Fuck it all. Gonzo. Yeah, I think it'll be a good time. This Karakui Circus. I don't know. I just see some muscles. I'm like, all right, it look cool. Who else we got? Don't care. Don't care. Don't fucking care. Actually, wait, hold on. Nah, never mind. Don't care. Don't care. Don't care. Don't care. Yeah, this is looking like a bunch of shit I don't fucking care about. Oh wait, K is getting some more stuff, but I still haven't freaking watched the anime.
We were talking about that earlier. Like, yo, I haven't even like no. 'Cause I watched the first whatever 2 seasons, some type of movie after, and I just haven't watched a single thing after.
Single thing after
Five,
that.
movie 4, 5, and 6 come out. I think I didn't even watch episode 1.
I was like, I'm like, there's this many movies. Like,
That's
y'all
what
still
I'm
coming up with content?
I had no idea that was happening. That's the whole thing.
Because there was even like some of the mangas with like the backstory for like some of the missing kings and shit. Like, I can't keep up with all this right now. I'm tired.
A lot. It's a lot to take in.
Yeah, can't be bothered.
I was not aware that Maho Shoujo lyrical Nanoha still existed, so I guess that's kind of cool to see. And don't care, don't care, don't fucking care, and that's it. So how much I listen? Like what? 3, 2?
Like 30 things.
Yeah, I think so. Right?
Yeah, I don't know, man. I just not that interested in that many things, but you know, I got my shit that I need. That's
I mean, isn't the most hype seasons? Well, I guess no. Wouldn't it be winter and summer? I don't fucking remember.
But I remember usually it's around fall because I remember the last few fall seasons we had like a bunch of shit that was coming out, and like spring usually too.
I'm about to say like shit. If it's supposed to be fall, and I'm looking at this list, like
I was gonna say too. Even JoJo, man, part 5 in the fall, man, that's gonna be fire. That's already a guaranteed top 5.
Oh wait, did we forget? Did we not say that?
We talk about the JoJo, man.
Oh,
that
shit.
part 5, that Giorno, Giovanna, man. Let's fucking go.
King Crimson, how does it work? How does it work?
Every single week they've been putting out those previews and stuff for each of the characters, man. Got me so hyped, bro. When I saw my man Bruno, I'm like, let's go. And like,
Nah, he's raw. I like him.
that's my man's.
I
Yeah.
hate to be a fucking party pooper.
In the wrong
Yeah,
city.
I don't know how I feel about fucking part 5, so I ain't watching it.
Hey man, listen, I read those coffee stains and stuff, man. This is the first experience of JoJo. So if it gonna be, it's gonna be, man.
The piss yellow fucking paper
Exactly, man.
with the paint text,
And you know what? That's so solid.
looking like I fucking did that shit. All right. Any new series that you picked up recently, whether it's a new anime or manga?
Oh, yo, hold up, yo. What? I'm just saying. Tate no Yusha? Piano no Mori? Like, let's get it.
Yeah.
All that is fire. Like, let's get around here.
Dororo from Tezuka Productions, man.
I've loved the crap out of both of those series. To see them both stepping up on the anime front now, like this is finally a segue for people to actually get into those series. Because I've been telling people, Piano no Mori, read it.
Yeah, Piano no Mori. You know what? This didn't have its first season come out, I think, in the spring or something.
Yeah, it was.
I've been downloading them. I haven't watched it yet, but I have read. BMC had me reading it. I do like it. I like it. It was dope.
Yeah, I was weird because I was waiting to see what platform had it so I can watch it because I got literally see nobody talking about it, and I thought I got covered.
See, because the thing is that I feel like a lot of people are just not that into the old classics, you know what I mean, when it comes to classical music. And so the thing is, like, this is that segue because I think ever since we had, what was it, Your Lie in April, like, people love the crap out of that, right?
No
and
Dame out.
It's on the music, right? But it's on the whole, like, you know, romantic aspect of what is going on.
Yeah.
But in
No
this,
Dame
like,
out.
this is the actual music. So when you hear, like, the kids play La Campanella or something like that, then it takes on a whole different thing because when you're reading it, it's one thing, but when to hear it while you're watching anime is a completely different situation.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, I think that's like integral. And Tate no Yusha, like nobody talks about that because it's a light novel, but like the manga that's been like adapted for it is actually really good. So to see an anime coming out for that too, I'm really excited. Yo. I think that's gonna be fire.
Yeah.
Oh, the Shield Hero. Someone wanted me to read this shit too. Fine. Oh, was it you?
Well, because
no, I feel like somebody else also asked me to read it. Maybe it was you. You did too, but I feel like someone else also asked me. That's why.
Because this is the thing. He's a guy who ends up in another world, and instead of getting a weapon, gets stuck with a shield, and he has to figure out how to use the shield in order to become a good combatant. And then
you block and you hit.
Hey, Captain America,
block, hit, shield throw.
Captain America gimmick, yo, like
stars and stripes.
The real problem is that within the first 24 hours, the man gets accused of being a rapist. So everybody hates him and nobody wants to work with him. So he has to figure his shit out and he hates everyone. So it's just him going on being very
that reminds me of another isekai that I read that's something like that. It said when the guy pulled up, he killed everybody within like the first 10 minutes of him being there.
Jeez.
Sort of.
Yeah, because he was like, he's like, if I fight to kill. And they transported them, and he said they look hostile, so he killed them.
That's
so he just left a room full of blood.
I was nice. You gotta eat. That's what you need, a little bit of Zetsubo to start off the series. So it's there.
Big
fan. For sure.
Anything else? Any manga you guys? I haven't started anything new. I'm trash.
I mean, like I had like Soul Eater on the side and stuff. I was reading like the first like 4 volumes.
Oh, I'm lying, Kiniko Man. I'm lying. I'm sorry.
Hooray!
I read 3 volumes, I think it is, of Kinnikuman. It's like 30 chapters. I like it.
Oh wait, are you finally up to the first Choshi Olympic arc or not?
Near him.
Him? You talking about Nai?
No, we already spoke about this. I'm past that.
Oh
yeah. No. I
only got chapter. I don't even know where I'm at. Like chapter 30. Like I just know that's the number I'm on.
I feel like you might have started it, man. His dad is fucking hilarious. Just cheating. I'm like, that's my nigga.
Have any of y'all read?
He tickling the dude trying to hold up the tooth.
Oh Lord. Have any of y'all read Onani Master?
Yeah, I talk about it all the time. That's one of my favorite series.
I literally read that at night, and like, I'm not gonna lie to you, I cried real tears. That shit was.
You weren't ready for the genre shift when it got real. You weren't ready for it. Yeah,
I didn't know nothing about it coming in. Some dude just threw it in my DMs on Discord, and I was like, I ain't doing nothing. And I've read worse because like the synopsis, like a guy masturbating, and I'm like, oh okay. I've read a bunch of fucked up shit in my time, so let's just go ahead and let's just see how this gonna go. And then I was like, this shit is great. Oh, and I also have a question since we're on new manga. All right, literally. All right, I'm a little bit against the grain on this one. Laz, I know you read this one. What do you like so much about Jujutsu Kaisen?
Jujutsu Kaisen, man. Like, just to put it to you this way, because when Jump had like the Jumpstart series, they were coming out for, I think it was like Noah's No, Sega, and then Jujutsu Kaisen. And I had made a tweet about this way back in March. I said it had a solid first chapter, but depending on where the story goes, the next few ones, I could see it being around for the long term. And lo and behold, September comes and it's top 5 since July 18. To put it to you like this, with Jujutsu Kaisen, like to me, it's like one of those like, you know, it's an edgier battle shonen where it has like deals with like sorcery and stuff, and like you have a main character who like, you know, he's gifted in one area where like, you know, track and field, but like he doesn't really want to do anything with it. Like he's cool at just learning about supernatural stuff. And
okay, so question for you. Like, so I have this problem with this manga.
Right.
And Fire Brigade, even though people tell me Fire Brigade gets better later, but I just jumped into it. I gotta stick with it. So I started it, and I didn't get too far. I must have got to like chapter, I don't know, like 10 or 11 or whatever.
Okay.
In between that one and Fire Brigade, I just have a hard issue caring. Like the premise for Jujutsu is cool, and it's normally something I would like, but the character, especially the main character, I don't care. I literally just do not care.
Well, I mean, because they already established like what his role is. Because again, with him consuming like a part of that Sukuna host or whatever, right? Like the demon, they already knew what's gonna happen to him. His end game was already explained at the very beginning of the series that he's going to die. We know that's going to happen. So it depends on how the things are going to be handled. Is he going to get all the parts and stuff of this monster and, you know, vanquish it in alongside, or are they just going to get rid of him afterwards? He's content. He's like, if I'm going to die, I'm going to die. But at least I want to make sure that no one else is going to have to.
Yeah, he wants to help people. But it's like, other than that too, I just don't like. They kind of mention them themselves. Like they talked about that one guy where he was like boring. But like most of the characters, like I just don't find it interesting, except for the master dude, the mentor. He's pretty cool. But everybody else, I don't know. They're just not here. So
honestly, the thing is,
I'm waiting for more chapters.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You gotta give it a little bit more time because honestly, there comes a point where like you see the plot twist and the plot direction that they're going, and that just catches like the attention because like there was something that happened. Now, I don't want to spoil anything
Chapter
in
9,
case people are not caught
yeah.
up. But like when I read that, I was just like, oh shoot, like that's the way that you handle that. And then it comes up that like, oh shoot, there's all this other stuff happening. You got a lot of other development, and they start really expanding on the kind of world that they're trying to build, right? And the fact of the matter is that like what I care about is the internal consistency of that. So the fact that they keep that consistent and they keep building on those ideas, like I think that's crucial in like how like well thought out and well written the series is overall.
Yeah, because like literally they put because they put out a really good, like, in my opinion, they put out a good starting arc within chapters 6 to 9, and the fact that like with it to its benefit is like a lot of these series that were coming out at the time and stuff, in the first like 20-30 chapters, they threw everything that they had like to learn about what exactly is going on, and stuff. Like they rushed basically to the point. Jujutsu Kaisen is like taking its time to explain everything. Like, yeah, the power scheme and stuff, like, you know, how the abilities work with sorcery and stuff, and like the territories. Like, again, like that's gonna take time once we understand it, because again, it's only the masters or like the guys who actually have full control know how to use these abilities. The kids are like pretty much in the school now that are learning about this. They're gonna be learning as they go on in actual like, you know, missions and that kind of stuff. So I mean, I like it right now where it's at. I mean, again, it's taking it slow, but hey, Jump sees that's it's going to go far. It's been top 5 since July 18 for a reason. It got the cover of Jump. For it to do that, the last time we got that kind of stuff was My Hero. I'm just saying. So,
I was actually going to say.
And I'm just saying, look where My Hero's at, regardless of where. I mean, we're going to get into the slander afterwards, but it's like, you know, we know where My Hero stands right now in terms of the, like, you know, anime, manga, and the community and stuff. So it's like, I'm just saying, Kaisen 30 chapters and less. I already got the cover of Jump twice. It doesn't happen a lot.
It's very, very impressive. Like I think it's cool. I like it. I might be on chapter like I want to say 16. It's fine. I like it. I'm not on board. I'm not on the hype train with you guys yet. Where like it's taking off this sick level. It's good. There's potential. I see that there. I'm not all the way in like you guys are. Maybe after reading whatever is left, so maybe something sick happens. But like I was reading, I'm like, okay, I see it.
Like to me, it just caught my attention because it reminded me of Aono Exorcist. So when I saw it, I was just like, oh yeah, this is a little bit similar to that. What got me though was the fact that they're like the releases are more consistent, right? And frankly, like I find like
fucking mid.
I know you're right about that, but like I'm just enjoying like the artistry and like the direction that they're trying to take with the story. I think that's really what caught my attention. I mean, obviously, maybe that's not for everybody, right? So that's why it's a little bit slower for everybody to come to like grips with like where it is at right now. But like,
I'm with it. I'm just not like, you know, like even when like the Yaiba stuff was happening, like I read Yaiba, I'm like, I like Yaiba. It's cool. I like it. It's dope. I don't know where everybody was going nuts. Like this shit, the new something bolster child X, Y, and Z. I'm like, I don't know about all that, but it's cool.
I wasn't feeling.
I think when the anime comes out, when the anime comes out for Yaiba, though, I honestly think a lot of people are going to be like turning around, like, oh shit,
yeah, because it's affordable.
I mean, that's what I'm saying, to its benefit, yeah. But the thing is, because it's a battle series as well, and again, you need someone like Ufotable to capture the amount of shit that goes on in this series. Like,
they just better not do that stupid fake shit they've been doing where they just fucking, like Simmy said, just fucking liquid. I don't want to see that shit.
Nah, as long as they don't freaking put dubstep over like they did the fucking UBW anime, it's fine. I don't know what the fuck they was smoking. They was huffing and puffing before they made.
They weren't trying to spend no money.
They just put some dubstep, put some shiny colors and shit, just liquid. I said, yo, what happened to the people who did Cardinal Kyokai, man? Where did they go? Like,
no, they were Euro stepping past that, bro. They not.
You see an action sequence from Canon no Kyokai, and it's like leagues better than what you would get in any.
Dude, that came out in 2007, which is ridiculous.
And then it's even more recently. You look at freaking Fate Zero, freaking Kiri versus Koto, still one of the best anime fights of all time. Then you watch freaking UBW, you hear some fucking dubstep type shit. It's just fucking a light show. I'm like, what the hell is this?
They were like, nobody gonna watch this show anyway. They were wrong. They were trying to.
Because they got. I could a little bit admit before I started to really look in and study animation, it had me a little bit there, where it's like you just see how some of the character model look is like shiny and shit's going fast. And you're like, oh wait a minute, this shit is great. And after I'm like, wait a minute, no, it's not.
Good shit.
This shit big.
They got you.
Like the revision novel's out, man. Fuck.
I don't know how did fucking have. Listen, at the end of the day, Dean Stay Night graded and signed Ufotable UVW. As simple as that. If you can, they don't even got no damn noses in the Ufotable anime. That shit just look nasty. Dean anime gold. Art matches the visual novel. The action scenes actually look good. It's not look like no fucking liquid. The music is fucking fantastic. Unlike that stupid ass dubstep soundtrack they got going on, man. Don't even get me started, man. Take me off track. Keep talking what y'all was talking about.
Yeah, sorry. Okay. Jujutsu Kaisen, go back. Sorry. You're saying.
No, I think we good. I was just trying to get for somebody who actually like loves the series as it's currently going on. And like you said, I see potential in it too. That's I'm gonna wait for it. I'm gonna wait till it gets to like chapter, I don't know, probably 50 or something. I'll pick back up, start over.
Yeah, I mean, like right now, man, like it looks like in a good spot. They can really. Oh, someone got the echo.
Oh, I don't know. Maybe it's me. Hold on.
Don't worry.
Go ahead, keep talking.
No, but I was gonna say like either way, just in like regard like to how the concept is and stuff, because I've seen a lot of like similarities to I guess like other series that I've seen before, like especially with Alan since you're caught up, like like one of the new characters that was introduced kind of reminds me of like Furuta from like Tokyo Ghoul, like which is pretty scary considering where the direction's at right now and stuff. A siren because of like the more like a darker like tone that it has in its battles and stuff, and the way the abilities kind of craft itself. And like for one, like again, like we were talking about before we got live, is that the main character is actually likable. Like a lot of main characters, it takes a long time for me to care about you. Most of the time, I'll have other characters in the series that I kind of prefer more than the main character. But again, dude was established already from like the first 3 chapters, and there we go. And he handled himself really well in like chapter 6 and 9, that first good arc that it had, and then just from there, you know what, man, like I'm with the shits.
Yeah, the fact that he carries himself really well, and the fact that he's a hand-throwing MC.
Yeah, exactly.
Like he actually uses bare hands and fights people. Like that's what I'm trying to see at this level. Like that's what you want.
Simmy, have you at all watched it, read it?
Of course not. I ain't read a dang freaking single chapter of it, but
do you care? Like, are you interested in what you've seen?
I most definitely care. It's just I hope that it fills the void that Ultra Battle Satellite left in me. But hearing from what y'all say about it, it's actually not just straight up throwing hands like Ultra Battle Satellite. But I think it still should. It looks cool as hell to me. I'm interested in all that new shit that y'all been reading. But to answer the actual question, man, I ain't starting nothing new, man. I'm still reading Rave Master, and I'm still watching Seika no Koiser. Like, come on.
You're throwing back, yo.
You've been on Rave Master for quite some time.
And it's gonna be like
he good. He about to read 2 more Rave Masters after this.
Oh my goodness, man.
So he good.
Ancient time.
So does Akutami, does she have any other series, or is it just Jujutsu? She knew?
This is her first series, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah.
It's a female? Oh, it's gonna be great already.
And that's the crazy thing, dude. Like, if you see that art in the first 15 chapters, like, especially the double spreads, bro, like, no one back then was pulling off that well, I would say, since, like, Oda, Kubo, Kishimoto, of that consistency. Yeah. So I'm just saying, like,
females are some of the greatest writers.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. I don't know how they do it every time.
And again,
these dudes be focused on boobs.
Yeah,
these women be focusing on the story. Full Metal Alchemist out.
Yeah, and I mean, like, going like in terms of the girls and stuff, like right now, like obviously we still need them fleshed out, but for what we've seen so far of them, like they don't seem like no tsunderes or no like like all these personalities, and they're trying to like be like, I guess like shit whatever, right? But like at least they seem cool. Just like we're just waiting to see like how they're going to be expanded later on, because like right now obviously the main focus is like understanding what the whole power system stuff is about, who exactly we're going to be up against and stuff after like the first obstacle. So
I actually also like the short story that she did. like like the prequel.
Oh yeah. Then
That was
that's gonna be 4 chapters too.
Mhm.
That's getting like a whole volume, and that's interesting because they kind of not to say too much, but there's a character that's mentioned in it that they mentioned in the main story that obviously we're going to be seeing later on. So at least for it to get like a prequel thing, again, in the span of chapters it has, like it's got to be doing something right.
Yeah, 100%.
Well, I hope for her success. It looks, I do think it will end up being good. Hopefully, when it gets an anime adaptation, it's picked up by a competent studio with some good staff and not some bad,
Or someone's getting rushed.
not studio like Parrot, whatever. Hopefully, they don't get it.
That whole company getting rushed.
I'm gonna slide this in here just because we kind of touched upon it a little earlier, and it just springs something in my head because I kind of see it sometimes. And I don't really get it, and that's one of your guys' opinion on it.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, series have the canon, right? The things that you don't go against what like the original medium is. Animes might add a scene here and there. There'll be filler movies, etc. A, B, and C. Does that bother you? Because like, there's some people that I'll talk to, and I'll be like, I really like One Piece films. And like, I didn't watch it because it's not canon. And just like you just completely denied yourself watching a fun movie just because it's not part of the like main timeline. Like, why? I don't get that train of thought. So I was wondering what you guys think about it.
Yeah. I mean, for me, it's weird because it's like when it comes to like the anime fillers, like before, like this is when I didn't even know what a filler guide was. So I was just watching through it. Like I truly believe like the Master Daddy or whatever his name was, when Usopp had the face.
Daddy the father.
Yeah, and then with the Yasop, I legit thought that was a true story. Like I thought Yasop really did give him the hand.
The only thing I'm gonna say about that is I don't know if I made this up. I have to check. I keep saying I'll check. I'm gonna do it now, and so I'll bring up later. But I know he wanted Lockdown to be longer, and he wanted like a light novel in there or something like that. So apparently some of those scenes were like something he was thinking about doing. But I'm gonna look it up. Sorry,
like Ace with the lizard back in Alabasta. Like I legit thought all this shit was canon. Like I was seeing the manga, and then in my reread, I'm looking through. I'm like, yo, where the fuck is half of the shit? Like, I'm like, oh shit, it's filler. Okay, but like to me, it's weird because it depends on like if you really love a series, I guess it doesn't really matter. But if you're someone that just wants to understand exactly why someone's hyping it up and there's filler in the way, like Naruto, for example, no one's gonna sit around and watch 220 episodes, which a good maybe more than half of it is filler. You know what I mean? Like no one's gonna sit through that and really say like, yeah, like we're gonna wait for the season, next season or whatever. Like it doesn't work like that.
Well, for me, it's a similar kind of thing. Like I can understand that people enjoy the spin-offs and stuff, right? Like some people actually really like fillers, but if I can't do it like that because I need to maintain like the consistency of the story. So whenever I'm reading something, like that's why I don't revisit things, or I don't feel the need to revisit things, because once I've read it once, like that's it. I have most of it memorized. Like I know what happened, so you just might need to like give me a little like kick so I can refresh my memory on it. But like outside of that, like all the story is consistent. So if I add in those kind of things, then it breaks the chain of thought that the mangaka or author originally had, at least in my head. So when that happens, then I'm like memorizing a bunch of things, or I recall a bunch of things that are not relevant to like what is actually happening. And then it creates an inconsistency, I think, in the headcanon as well when that kind of stuff happens. Like, because after a while, like it all starts to blend together for some people. So I think like that's my personal problem with it.
I hate filler, but me hating filler does not mean that like I won't watch it. But I hate filler because if it's good, I wish it was part of the canon. And if it's bad, I wish it didn't exist at all. Naruto has like how many movies, and I swear they don't have a single good movie. I hate all of their movies.
But like
these even exist.
Well, Simmy, what were your thoughts on it before I keep going?
It's very weird for me because it's like very context based. It's a very context based question because it's like, okay, you have the people who have war flashbacks in Naruto, but again, that's how I said you'll be surprised when Laz was talking because there are a fuck ton of people who watched all of those Naruto fillers and they use it as fuel for arguments for their freaking ships. This is before that series officially ended, but yeah, there's a lot of people who watch all of those freaking fillers one up because those fillers gave the characters that got no screen time. But then like I look at a franchise like Fate, and you got people playing FGO. They watch the freaking FGO OVA and so on and so forth, but they never fucking play Fate Stay Night. So it's like, and then you have something like freaking Reborn, where the fillers were showing shit before the even manga was. Freaking Reborn, the anime showed the entire first family way before the freaking manga did. So it's like, and that was freaking raw. So I didn't mind them fillers in Reborn anime at all. And then freaking the Dragon Ball movies are absolute fun time. Like Tree of Might and what is that called with fucking that fucking brain in that robot? So
World's Strongest.
Yeah, World's Strongest and shit like that. All that shit's fucking fire, man. So I don't understand like how people completely throw it to the wayside, but I could understand why.
I feel like if you're watching a series and you don't want to watch the filler, that's one thing, right? But to literally just be like, oh no, I don't watch these movies because they're not canon, where it's like,
that's kind of dumb. Yeah. Like, because I feel like if you enjoy the series, like you actually would go and see this, whether if it's canon or not. Like, let's say the mangaka is working on it whatsoever. Do I care? Like, if Oda's working on a film, I honestly I just want to like watch the film because I enjoy One Piece.
Exactly, that's extra material for your series.
Even for me, it's like I would rather him not be on it because that means more breaks and less One Piece. And he's you can stay away from the movies. You can really stay away from the movies. That's all I ask. Like.
Actually, I think that's a part of it too. Like you got to be careful and you got to know when it is that what you're watching is a filler. So you're not like diluting the whole story.
Yeah, I think it's easy to separate though, because like I can see something and go like, "Oh, I really enjoy this." Yes, I know it's not canon. Like, so if I'm going to be in an argument where I'm using stuff from the story, I'm not going to pull from that. I'm not going to be like, "Oh, Luffy beat
people not as smart. People not smart.
Beat Shiki. Like that's a feat. Like no, it's a movie. I'm not going to do that. But like I still want to talk about the movies. Like they happen. They're awesome. Like
definitely. Yeah. But there are a lot of people. Like let's say for One Piece as an example, like. A lot of people use some of that stuff as their own agenda and trying to push something like the whole the whole Zephyr, like the whole warlord. Like we know it's a warlord apparently that cut his arm, but we don't know if that's canon or not because Oda never stated that once. So like people are still to this day trying to figure out who the hell it is. But at the end of the day, it's a non-canon film. Like it doesn't matter. Like
the plot is stupid. It's like we blow up these 3 islands and the whole new world goes into flames. Everyone died. Like come on, man. Relax. Have some fun. Like Zephyr is literally one of my favorite One Piece characters. I don't care if he's not canon. He raw. Fucking gangster. The fucking Buster Smash arm, man. That shit just all Kaidoseki. You just grab somebody, they're done. The fight is over. He's fucking gangster. I love that.
Yeah. I mean, I love to death still film Gold. And it's not because I'm a big fan of like carrying and like chess and stuff, but like,
So that's exactly why.
That's basically it.
Nah, that movie just looks amazing. Like from like the casino whole island, like dipped in gold.
Yeah. And I really like
Zoro just
Zoro on that guy's cool, man.
It's I just think the action was a little lacking in that movie. Zoro versus Dice was dope though. That was fucking amazing.
It was dope, and I'm thinking to myself, he's like, I don't know when he's gonna throw like hands, like no swords on. You know what I mean? Like when I saw that shit, I'm like,
yeah. One thing I really appreciated that movie was just like the person who got kidnapped was Zoro. Like this was a save Zoro film.
That's
like
what I'm saying.
I appreciate that. That was dope.
Yeah,
it wasn't fucking Nami again. God damn it.
That too. Even then, the Nami stuff for her part, like with Karina and the relationship, I liked how that was touched upon. And even like if you want to go back for the Mad Treasure OVA thing that they did and stuff.
Oh, like, the Heart of Gold. Yeah, that was cool.
And I feel like that's really really cool. Like you don't have to explain the main timeline or like in the manga. Like at least it expands more on the character, even if it doesn't have to be canon. But at least it's more insight into them and stuff, see their adventures. Cause I feel like for us, like a lot of people who complain, like, oh, how come we're not visiting islands? How come we're not seeing all these other places? At least like a chill arc, basically, to say in the New World. And it's like I feel like when we look at like cover spreads or like color spreads, filler episodes, like I think that's what it is to me. Like that's when we actually are going to see other places and stuff because that's the time for it.
It's like when someone asked, is Nami making maps? He's like, yes. Like I just assumed that she was doing that. I know I haven't really seen it, but like, duh, bitch, the dream is to draw a map of the whole world. Of course, when they're not fucking fighting for their life, she's in her room drawing maps. Like,
like we have to see a panel of her doing
it. Do we have to see her doing it every time?
Because I figure in my mind, what people think it's like, the squibble like of her on the corner just drawing. Like I don't need to see that. I know she has it.
Yeah.
But like, remember when we had the Foxy arc? Yeah. Where like he does the beam thing and whatever. Like I felt like that was much more relaxed, and we got to see people doing other things outside of like the very like combat focus and the whole like history of what is going on in the world, right?
Foxy's
like,
top five.
It's been a while since like we've been outside of the whole thing with the Yonko. and like all this stuff with the world government, right? Like all of that has been like hitting us a lot more recently, right? Where the world is being fleshed out and all the like sins of the past are kind of like being laid bare for us, so we can see all that stuff, and we know that like, oh, all this has got to change and so on and so on. But like now we've kind of lost that whole like the simplicity of those kind of moments from back in the day. You know what I mean? I get that we're not in paradise no more, so it's hard to like maintain all that stuff. But I mean, isn't that kind of like what we're supposed to be working toward in the first place?
Man, no one wants to see the they say shit like, "Oh man, how come we don't ever see them just chilling no more?" Like, bro, and then when we see them chilling, doing stuff in Wano, hanging out.
Upset. Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah, like them trash.
Where's Kaido?
I'm not gonna lie, man. Like I've been loving Wano and like them chilling in a corporate town. I like that stuff. But
Thank
Yeah,
you.
man.
Thank you.
man, like what's wrong with this? Like bro, it's good. Like chill. Like
Relax.
But that's the thing, yo. People are too obsessed, I think, with the whole combat aspects of it. And yeah, they're going through a rough time, but like that's no reason to just be aggressive and like upset all the time. Like let people chill out and be nice, you know?
Like I'm just gonna put it like this. Like for me, like One Piece, like the fights. Listen, man. Like it is what it is. There's probably like 1 6-star classic. Everything else, you may be looking at 3 stars, 3.5, maybe
He's
a
lying.
couple 4 stars.
You're lying.
Maybe. But in this sense, it's like again, it's the story that kind of matters to me. That's what I got into. I didn't get into it because oh man, this guy can throw hands and no, like the story, like them traveling and stuff. I fiend for that shit.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I don't want to get on that because we'll tangent off with the One Piece community. Maybe I'll touch on it a little later. But I guess kind of what Simmy said was right. It's kind of like context. I think the more I care about something, like I won't watch a single Naruto filler. I don't care. I know they adapted some things into the anime, but I think those were light novels. Like the Itachi stuff, I think that was from the light novel. So I think that's like technically, I don't even know if it's canon or not, but like that's something I wouldn't mind watching. But I could just wiki it to wiki out.
I figured they would kind of make a canon though, honestly, because if unless they have supervision, like the second you tell me like the writer I think is supervising it, I would say it has to be canon because it's almost them giving consent. Like, yeah, you can do this.
Only reason why I say I don't know because I didn't check. So I just don't want to put that out there. I'm like, oh, what's canon? I don't know. I really don't. I just know there's a Itachi light novel talking about he was like 4 years old and he saved his mom from a falling rock or some shit. I don't know. He was fucking OD busted.
Yeah, I mean, it's written by like some other dude, Yano, and then it's illustrated by Kishimoto. So
it's okay, probably then. But yeah, man, I don't really get like I saw it was like a lot of series. People just like, oh, I don't watch if it's not canon. I don't peep it. I don't care. And I'm just like, just depriving yourself of some cool fun, like the Toriko crossover. It was fun.
Yeah, like
one with Toriko and Dragon Ball. I had a fun time watching that scene. Yeah. The Coon Vegeta and the Coon Zebra was fighting each other.
You know what's funny? When I was getting into Toriko, I didn't know that existed because I knew like a lot of people got like he hated Toriko, I guess, because of the fact that I was getting all this push with Dragon Ball and One Piece. And when I got into it, I only knew after the time skip. So when I saw, I'm like, oh shit, like they actually did crossovers and stuff. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, oh, so that's why people hate it. But I'm like, Toriko's still raw.
Yeah, man. Like you ever watched the why don't I illustrate what it's called? Is it Sket Dance? The ball was getting down. You watched like the crossover though. That shit was funny as hell, bro. Yeah.
And the funny thing is, like I think it's like one the kid with the computer thing, whatever. He has the same voice as like in Toki. It's pretty wild, yeah.
Yeah, man. I don't know. Non-canon stuff to me is like good content is good content. If it's fun, it's fun. And you don't think you take it that serious where it's like I only consume the canon material and nothing else. Like relax.
Yeah, like
life out.
Like I know we were touching on it with Reborn. Like for me, Reborn has some of my favorite, funniest moments just for the filler. Like if you remember, like the one scene when they're in the school and then like they're trying to answer questions. If you get it wrong, they throw a bomb at you. Like, and then Lambo's like answering the question, and then Reborn's like, "You're already part of the mafia." Like that shit still gets me to this day. Like so it doesn't have to be like crazy complex story. Like stupid shit like this, like like I'm fine with it.
But I think that definitely plays a part in it too. Like you like the characters, you care about the characters.
Yeah, exactly.
You enjoy the series, you want to be involved more in the series. So that's the only other intake, right? Outside of actually watching the original. So yeah, I think that's nice too.
Yeah, man. It's okay to watch, movies, some filler and specials, man. Chopper Man special was funny. That one soccer one where Sanji kicked the ball around the world for the free kick and scored, that was raw. Like I just I don't know, fun out. But Okay, so let me explain what I mean about this story element section here, because I didn't know what to title it, and I was too lazy to keep. So I'll just say it. So, you see, I've been seeing on Twitter a lot of comparisons of series, and people like comparing certain story elements. So, you know, their buzzwords: character development, world building, X, Y, and Z. And I feel like people don't understand that different types of stories need to thrive and do different types of things well for that specific story to work, but it doesn't need to work in another story to work. So, for example, I mean this. In Dragon Ball, the story only requires Goku to get stronger and fight. Goku does not need to be a good dad, great husband, and friend. None of that shit matters to the story. It does not need him to do that for it to thrive. Because what does Dragon Ball thrive on? It's action. Mm-hmm. Right? So when I see people like, oh, well, this series has better world building than this series, I'm like, this series doesn't even really have world building. It just takes place in like fucking New York, which isn't a bad thing. Like your series not really needing to have world building does not make it like a weaker series than this series because it doesn't have. So I'm like, you guys are just throwing things you think every series needs to have because you see people praising Tower of God for its world building. So you're like, well, Hunter has better world building than One Piece. Like, you know, you don't believe that. First of all,
that's true.
But it's like, does Hunter x Hunter not having the same level of world building as One Piece make it any worse or better? Like, no.
Yeah,
that's great characters, great energy system. X, Y. Yeah, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say like what you were just saying right now, like in terms of like, you know, it has its own things, the characters and stuff, the story, like those I say are like the main things. Once you get the main things established, just the characters and the story, after that everything else just kind of like flies in there. Like, you know, as long as you establish your main components. And if you get people invested into wanting to continue with the story, then you, by all means, like you've done what you need to do. Everything else just comes in as like extra necessities. You know, like
it just doesn't make sense to me, man. Because it's like at this point, people just don't understand what a genre is and what the difference between genres are, or the fact that every single thing in the world period isn't trying to do the same thing. It's like it's like elitists come around knowing they're like, well, Legend of the Galactic Heroes is better than Naruto. Okay, like, is Naruto a fucking space opera? No, it's not. So why do you fucking care? Like, it doesn't make any freaking sense at all. It's like, if I'm watching freaking Azumanga Daioh, I ain't expecting some fucking mind-blowing shit like freaking Zero Escape. Huh?
Yeah.
Every series in the freaking world should not be trying to accomplish the same thing. Simple as that. It's just fucking retarded.
Y'all too smart for y'all own good. Y'all know what y'all don't understand. Twitter has a hive mind. Go on there and be like, this shit go. I could go on Twitter right now, and I'd be like, insert random manga here. This shit go 10 out of 10. It got better world building than One Piece. Tower God, and niggas are gonna be like, okay. And niggas start running with it. I could have made all that up. I didn't even read that though. Just skim the series.
He is not wrong.
And people gonna run with it. Because they hate the series that you're going against. You know, a lot of people hate One Piece. A lot of people hate their fans. So anytime you say this element is better, they gonna be like, oh, okay, we gonna run with this. I'll be like, bro, they not the same, bro. Like, Tokyo Ghoul is ascending. And like I can tell you from the jump, the moment I watched it, the whole thing was like based off this tragic, the psychological element. And niggas talk about world building. And it's called
it's all in Tokyo. It's all in Tokyo. Like,
bro, when Blah said that on his tweet, it was the funniest shit ever. But I'm like, bro, what part of it do you not understand? Like, it doesn't need to compete with One Piece at all. They're not even in the same thing. If you had two TV, that's like comparing like the Twilight Zone to like back. It don't make no sense. They're completely different worlds. They're eons apart.
And they don't get that. Just like this, establishing your setting and making it make sense and easy to understand for the reader in itself is world building. It takes place in Tokyo. Okay, that's there's nothing wrong with that. You don't need your world to have sky islands and other dimension on it for it to be like. Obviously, that's interesting, but you don't need to have that. It depends on the type of story you're telling.
Because Azumanga Daioh is a comedy and it's lighthearted and nothing happens, it's less of a series than Hunter x Hunter. Like, come on, that doesn't make any sense.
Exactly.
I think that like people are not objective because of those things though. Like you talk about like world building and character development and all this other stuff, but really like by contrasting those two things like against each other for two different series, and again it's like what Simmy was talking about, where it's like, okay, one is a space opera and the other one's like a high fantasy series. Like you, like what kind of contrast, like comparing contrast, are you going to get out of that? Like they have nothing to do with each other genre-wise.
Yeah, you can.
And once
the
that
only way
happens,
you could compare series is by enjoyment, which I really praise.
it's subjective if we're thinking
Series
about
like, I know this shit's mid, but I enjoy it.
Yeah.
And I really feel that way about a lot of things that I watch. Like my personal favorite anime list is completely different for what I objectively think is the best, or what I would objectively tell somebody to watch.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, really the closest you can come in terms of that kind of compare and contrast is you think about what is that? The internal consistency of the series. Like if that's lacking in any way, then you can point that out and you're like, that is an issue because they changed whatever they'd said before. You can't go around retconning things left and right and then expect that your series is gonna float like in front of other people. You know what I mean?
Right, exactly. or you start getting to the end of your series and then you just pull these bullshit things they make it end quicker. No, but anyway.
But that's what it is, right? Like once you see those kind of things, then you can objectively say, okay, this is not that good because it's doing this, this, and this to like mess itself up, right?
And then I feel like certain fandoms, when they feel under attack, they kind of do this thing where I'm like, you're doing exactly what I don't like, the complete opposite. Where like someone goes like, I'm about to read this tweet because I thought this was stupid, right? Because I see this often and people are like, I don't see people say this. So this nigga Luffy does the same goofy shit that gets his crew in danger and laughs it off. When he saw his bro die, you would think he'd be traumatized, but nah. When you think about it, Luffy's actually one of the worst captains in One Piece. Buggy and Alvida are only worse. First of all, Buggy's a god, so don't ever do that again. Respect the Star Clown. Okay. 2, fuck Alvida. 3.
I mean, post fruit we could.
I mean,
pre-fruit. That's what I'm talking.
Wow. Spread this to the Discord.
So people, One Piece fans get really defensive when someone goes like, someone doesn't develop. The character development, another buzzword, like Tamino says. Oh Lord, here we go. Right. One Piece is not the series for you if you need all your main characters to do this completely drastic change in character, because they're going to remain at their core the same character they were from chapter 1 up until 2062, whatever the fuck we end. Luffy seeing his brother die and losing the clue is not going to turn him into fucking guts. Edge the seas are harsh. I lost my brother to the pirate. Like that's not going to happen. What's wrong with you? Like,
yeah, like people.
This is not the series for that.
Spoiled, bro, and then they just want that in every series.
I look at you like for real. Like he's doing this for his pure innocent loving for adventuring and wanting to become the Pirate King. Like none of us real fans really want. No one wants to see this nigga turn into like a one peg leg, one eye patch, fucking hard drink. He's talking about I lost my crew. Like I didn't talk. Like no one wants that shit. Like stop it, man. You're just so.
They want him to turn into an informant, bro, like Shanks. I mean,
but actually, if you think about it, though, Luffy does go through like quite a bit of development overall, right?
The thing about it is, like I say, like they change and they do grow.
Yeah, that's exactly.
You get great characterization for them. All that stuff exists, right? My thing was like with Luffy, right? He basically laid out for you what he's gonna do for the series in Arlong Park. I can't navigate. I can't draw maps. I can't even lie. I can't use swords. I can't cook. So what the fuck are you good for? I'll beat your ass though. So him being a good leader and being strong is literally the bare minimum. He's good. That's what he needs to do.
Bro, you said this to me one time when we were talking about character development. You were literally like, if Luffy had a decision he made at the beginning of the series and at the end of the series he makes a different decision, that's character development. That's all it is. Like people do not have to make a whole 180 of their whole personality for it to be character development. That's not development.
And progression for a character doesn't always go in a positive way. You can regress, and it's still good development depending on like the event that happened. Maybe you're a super happy-go-lucky person, and some tragic thing happened, and now you're not that person anymore, and you're a lot meaner. In another way, that's a negative thing, but that's realistic. So that shit happens. Like you don't have to grow. you can regress, and it's still, in a sense, you develop it, and you can go to character arcs.
Well, I was gonna say, even from there, like once you've gone down that route too, then coming back maybe to how you were before, that's also character development. So
Exactly. That's why I always say like Sanji did go through a good character arc in Whole Cake Island, because they broke down Sanji to like the lowest he's ever been. Brought back up his past trauma, him trying to deal with that. He tried to make the best out of a situation he didn't even really want to be in, and it was just trash because Pudding didn't even fucking like. He's crying in that rain. I felt so bad for the man. I was like, oh my god. And they're like, but he didn't change. And I'm like, oh, so he went through a character arc, and now he's back to where he was. Sometimes shit happens, and then you're like, all right, that was some whack shit, and then you're back to who you were.
yeah.
So basically, yeah, you went from trash to mid.
Wow. Lads, we know you got Sanji tattooed over your heart, all right? Chill.
You got the rates. You got the rates.
Rates, yo. I know.
He got the curly eyebrows. Ready for the con.
Bro, he got that chef knife ready, you know.
In this house, we stand with the green hair.
And then like one more I want to talk about is like tactical, because we kind of spoke about it before, but it's like,
Oh my god.
they go. I saw this. Black Clover is better than One Piece because the fights are more tactical, and I'm like,
Let's define this.
oh,
Somebody said that for real?
That I don't. That wasn't something I saw today, but I definitely saw that. It was the same day the Black Clover fandom were going off. I don't know why. Some dude made some video talking about One Piece is worse than Black Clover because Black Clover, you get heat every single week. One Piece, you never know. It could be bad. It could be amazing. It could be okay. That's why Black Clover. So that day they were all wilded. And then that day I saw that tweet where I'm like, tactical. I'm like, okay. Yeah. I'm just gonna get out to different now, but like, yeah, every series is now extremely tactical somehow. I don't know how it happened, but every series they be using some tactics and some strategy. That's some other shit. So
Folk can't even if he can spell tactics. Like, come on, man. This shit is obnoxious. Like, listen. If freaking like I'm gonna show you some tactics in Crow and even in worse, right? If when Hana fights, he throws an uppercut that has like a freaking 99% chance of uppercutting you. So if someone's fighting him and they know that he has an uppercut, they see him go low and they dodge it. Guess what? That's tactics. Therefore, a worse has more tactics than One Piece. Like, come on, man.
Nah. That's just business, yo.
Will people care about that type of stuff?
it's because
they don't know it's freaking tactics. What I just explained is actual tactics. They wouldn't say that's tactical.
It's the Hunter thing, man, because the Hunter these Nen battles are so tactical and strategic. So now they think, well, Hunter is successful because it has this. Well, my series is also tactical. Like, no, Black Clover is not fucking tactical. You better shut the
Okay. I'm not gonna lie. Okay, so I used to kind of fall when I was younger. I used to fall into that category until I met y'all, and so I started reading manga again. Some things that the people confuse for tactical, it's just the author literally laying out the character's mindset. Because everybody wants to think that their favorite character or whoever's fighting in a battle shonen or action manga, they want to think their character is a genius. Like, no, he really not. They just showing you his thoughts when he's fighting. That's it. There's nothing tactical about this. He's like, oh, he's throwing a punch. I should block it. That's not tactical. That's something anybody would do during a fight. You just don't have a narration of it.
That's the whole thing. Like, coming back to the Black Clover idea, right? Of that being tactical. Like, that's just you dealing with the situation, like, based on people's capabilities. Like, that's not you being tactical.
I don't know what it is. Like, I just want people to understand that, like, your series don't have to excel at literally, like, all of these stories. Like, this and that for it to be good. If your series is a comedy series and it's funny, guess what? It's a good series. It's fulfilling its requirement. It's making you laugh. It's a comedy. You don't need to have, like, action.
Amazing fights. Amazing drawings. Like, that's what we're here for.
I'm tired, bro. Like, I'm tired.
In what way does freaking Asta have fucking any type of tactical anything when his fucking ability just freaking
that's it. That's it.
Boys the whole series.
Damn it, man.
Come on. In the world of magic, he got anti-magic. So what's his tactics? Just exist. Like, come on, man. What the hell are y'all talking about? I can't. They think
that's not tactic.
Why they think Yo, men battles are so tactical. No, they are not. They are just dialogue heavy.
It's not tactical when Killua just ripping people heart off.
Yeah,
Nothing tactical about that.
If I narrate everything that I'm thinking all the time, you could think my whole life is tactical. Nigga, like, no,
Right,
this is real life.
exactly. Right, exactly.
It's just that in Hunter they literally let you know, like he tells you a lot more than he shows you. I think
exactly. It's like, at the end of the day, Hunter is still freaking throwing hands. You remove all of that text, it's throwing hands. Look at Netero versus Miriam. Half of that fight is just fucking Netero's backstory. Okay, the actual fight is freaking Netero literally just swatting. The rest of the fight, Netero literally just swatting a fucking ant, then freaking blowing himself up. Like, hello, what tactics is that? It's still throwing hands. It's just a fuck ton of dialogue. So you think just because you read in the fight instead of actually watching it, that is tactical.
Right.
Man,
Tactics like you set up stuff before the fight, or you do things because you know you're at a disadvantage. So you know you have to do things to make up for your lack of being able to fight this person.
And it's not to say that these fights lack strategy and there's no tactics to it. It's just like this whole thing people push where it's like, no, every fight in this series, it's so amazing because of how I'm like, no, just stop. They're just fighting, bro. Like they're just fighting and throwing, dodging shit and doing stuff on instinct. Like it's just because you fucking write it all out.
Right. Like if we cut on One Punch Man and they start narrating every time Saitama does something, it ain't gonna be tactical. It's like, no, the nigga's still beating people in one punch.
One Punch Man
any more tactical.
I don't know, bro. But I just wanted to talk about that because I'm just like, yo, you guys are, I don't know, like just understand certain stories. Certain people don't even write the same. Like writing styles differ. Like all that comes into play. Like if someone attacks a series because they say he doesn't have something, it may not fucking need it. So you don't need to like retaliate. It's like, we do have this. We do. Zoro has developed so much in the beginning. I mean,
And he has.
I mean, got stronger. He doing what he did. He didn't have to. I need to do that to you because of the Saudi thing. All right, so right at the ending, it's just me talking about. I feel like I could literally like if a story's 100 chapters. If I could love all 99 chapters, and if the 100th chapter is trash and that's the ending, I'll hate it. It'll ruin the series. It'll ruin the series.
Yeah, it just depends. For me, it's weird because it's like, you know, let's say for example, without saying anything too much into it, Gintama, like when Gintama's quote unquote final chapter, which we know is a bunch of horse shit. It's still alive. Like something like that, I can say like I'm comfortable with the ride because like to me that's what it was about. It was never really about an end game point for them. Like they explained that much later into the series, but did I give a shit about that? No. Like I just want to see how these men are gonna try and, you know, get that rent money by the end of the month. That's what I cared about.
Yo, Yorozuna forever.
Yeah, exactly. Literally forever.
I agree with that. There's definitely exceptions. There's some things where I'm like, you know what, I may not really like the ending, but it was a good ride. But like, I guess it depends on the season. But my general rule of thumb is like, I don't want my time to be wasted. So like by the end, I'm like, oh, good, I wrapped up.
Exactly. You know, a perfect example for me is like Gantz. Like fucking, I love everything. Everything pre-chapter 300. I loved it. 300 onwards. Oh my god, what the fuck am I reading?
Like he just went around calling her name. She called his name, and that's it. Just them running around bare naked. Like what?
I'm that whole manga.
I'm still convinced the actual main character is dead, and that version of him that they made from the Black Ball. That's not the same guy. Not the same person.
That's not my Kei Kurono, man.
He dead.
And I love Kei Kurono like as a main character, but man, that shit was some trash.
You know, Yoshiki out.
Actually, yo, you're right, Simmy. Inuyashiki is out. So that was the fire.
Yeah, hey, that one character said that One Piece is gold, and I agree with him.
Nah, freaking, he shits on Gassy in that freaking manga too. Like, it's funny because I forgot his name already. It's crazy. I just read that fucking manga this year. But yeah, he went to his friend's house, right? He saw that he got mad Gantz wallpapers in his room, right? Yeah. And he was like, "Oh, you read Gans? Isn't that shit manga?"
Yeah. Oh my.
Yeah, Oku
I can't ever get over the fact that Japanese nigga put on blackface paint and turned it to a.
Oh, that shit was fucking.
I would never get over that shit. Like, and I'm not even one of those people that was all huffing and puffing. shit is racist, but I'm like, come on, bro.
For me, it's like, when I saw that, it wasn't like of anger, but I'm like, yo, what is wrong with you?
Yeah, that's what it was for
man.
me too. It was like you off the whole pill.
That's the
Yeah,
thing.
bro.
Guts is one of those series that just does bare foolishness and like just aims to shock, right? Like, so the things that happen in that are purposely there for you to be stunned by what's happening, right?
Yeah, but I feel like it was just so unfitting. It made no sense. Like,
Yeah, man.
like, so you got the one character, the one kid who see, I don't care. Fuck this manga. I don't care about. Like, you got the one kid. He's fucking like he a fucking jackass. He act like he's so much smarter than everybody. This nigga got killed like 3 times.
Oh,
Crying for his
Nishi.
damn mama.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Nishi,
bro, I can't stand this. And then like that dude, he nigga had his whole ass out fucking that girl that better in the room, and niggas just walk up into that shit. I was like, bro,
That was kind of gold.
What? Yeah.
And everybody kept
That's kind of good.
and everybody kept trying to rape the girl with the big titties. What is going on, bro? Like, what is this shit, man? Everybody just chill out. But I still sat through that whole thing.
Yeah,
Japan.
Yeah.
Nah, I know you're on board with that too, though. That like Beelzebub, the way that ended, I don't know about that, man. The
That
way that
hurt.
Claymore ended, come on, like what?
Yeah,
See all this,
yeah.
Beelzebub
I'm not gonna lie,
hurt.
give Claymore a pass. Yeah.
Beelzebub is a little bit in that kind of Gintama-ish category for me in terms of like it having like serious moments and whatnot, arcs, but like them just fucking around a lot. So, but the ending did not swell me because you could tell like, all right, you should getting axed. Wrap it up, Chief.
Yep.
All right, would you just come out? Oh, this is not I'm done. I'm like, what?
Right? Yeah.
Because the stuff with Nasu, that was dope, and wasn't like Takemiya was it?
Takemiya.
That was so one of my favorite manga fights. That shit was fire. But he's fighting with Lucifer and shit. Oh
Yeah,
my
yo,
god,
geez.
that fight is
Throwbacks,
amazing. I know, but that shit was funny. But I cut like on the opposite side of the spectrum, I could not enjoy something that much, and then the ending is good, and I'm like, oh, that was bad.
Right?
Yeah.
I have to completely disagree with you. I am 100% for the ride. If I enjoy something for 99%, don't like that 1%, I still fucking enjoyed it. I'm just ignore the ending. Like, I'm gonna use.
I can't do that though. Like, I love Code Geass for all his faults. The ending made up for that whole second season.
I agree.
Was a
Yeah.
garbage.
The second
I thought that shit was
bro.
trash.
Yeah, the
It was
first 15
garbage.
episodes,
And the
man,
ending
was,
saved it.
That second season, like when they introduced the Knights of the Round, I'm like, yo, this is a sick concept. I don't know why we didn't talk about this before. And then they introduced all the other family members too. I'm like, this is sick. And then, like, they didn't come to any fruition. So it's just them fooling around and doing bare nonsense the entire season. I'm just like,
Yeah.
And then him and the Rolo thing was all sorts of.
I did not
That was
give one
so
fuck about
stupid.
Rolo, man.
Bro, that's
Fuck
what I
that
mean.
kid.
Like, why did we need to regress to that kind of like state?
Yeah, like
Right.
to this day, like people
First
hail it to be
ending.
such an amazing series, but honestly, it's so fucking overrated, man. Aside from that ending,
See, that's what I said. That's why I said the
it's like
ending is why I give it such praise.
Yeah,
Ending saved that shit was about to be a complete shit show. If that ending, like, I would have almost acted like the second season didn't exist.
yeah.
That's
Same.
what I'm saying.
It
Even
did
all
not
in all,
happen.
like,
Even the
first
third
season
season
was
doesn't
great.
exist.
Then you come to the
No,
end
it
of the
don't.
first season. Second season is terrible. It's the same kind of shit. Like, why do you do this?
Yeah, and even then, look with the ending for season 2, as you said, we saved it and everything. Again, it's getting a season 3, so now it's back to trash.
No,
Oh,
that shit
God,
that shit
Once
does
that
not exist to me.
Yeah,
that
once
shit does not
episode
exist.
drops,
That
it's
shit
trash.
is not here, bro.
Yep. Like,
I don't want nobody even speaking that shit. That shit basically the Berserk CGI to me. That shit does not exist.
Kingdom.
I don't know what the fuck happened.
Oh, the Kingdom? That shit's erased from history.
Kingdom has no
Nobody
anime. What are you talking
Nobody
about?
talks about it, bro. I
There
can't
is
believe
no
people bring
anime.
back up the
I don't know.
screenshots.
There's no Kingdom anime.
Looking like the
No anime.
superior adaptation.
We don't talk about that. That's not real, all right?
My blood's boiling. Like,
That's a completely different series. That's Kingdom CGI, bro.
So
man.
Simmy, let me ask you a question, because I'm curious, because I wish I was as strong as you. I'm just not as strong as you, but you don't feel like with V3 he just shat on the entire Danganronpa franchise, like it just ruined everything. Like you can still enjoy what you enjoyed for the time, but he just spat in your face about everything you did with just some like come on, like
Hey, I'm not talking on that, bro. I'm muting myself.
no,
Right.
it's like a Simmy, yeah.
Listen, like the thing with V3 is though is like it wasn't good from beginning to end. It was only good for like the first fucking trial, and that's it. The rest of it is very debatable. So it's debatable from mid to garbage. So regardless, I did not enjoy the majority of the game, but that ending in itself that's kind of different because when you have a multi-series, a multi-franchise series that just spans many different platforms, and then you have, and that's what you were saying earlier. For a series to be good, you need to establish its setting, its characters, and its rules, right? So if you do that for literally 2 generations, because Danganronpa came out on PSP, and then completely shit on all of that, so that's years. It's like almost a decade of freaking story that we've been being sold to. We completely shit on all of that. Then yeah, fuck that guy, man. It's still fuck Kodaka 100%. But it's like, if I'm reading it's a standalone series and if I like the majority of what I'm seeing and then the ending is whack, I'm like, okay, well, whatever. I still like the series. I'm here for the ride. I don't read anything for the ending. I read it for the entire. That's why I also don't mind spoiling. When I say that, I don't mean spoil every damn series I'm looking forward to experiencing. When I say I don't mind spoilers, I mean that getting spoilers will not 100% make me not read, watch, or play something. Okay. I'm still going to do it because I'm here for the ride. I'm not here. I wasn't here for that one spoiler. I'm here for the entire experience.
That's fair.
Actually, I want to say that I've read a piece called "John Dies at the End," and so right there, you should know that John dies at the end. But like, that's not what we're here for. We're here to read the story, right? So
it's like I'm gonna use a perfect example. In Fate Stay Night, once after Lancer pulls up on Shiro's house, right, and they both fends off both Lancer and Archer, Rin takes Shiro to the church and Kotsune explains everything to him. Shiro then deduces that Kotsune won the last Holy Grail War. This is within the first 2 hours of the game. So what does that tell you? Kotsune won the last Holy Grail War. So if Fate Zero comes out, therefore you should have no reason to watch it because you already know Koto's going to win it. But here we are. Fate Zero is one of the best anime of all time. So, like, hello.
I feel you.
I get what you're saying, but it's a little different. But I get what you're saying, though. Because, like, some series, they tell the story out of order. Like 4, 5, 6 for Star Wars, right? They go 1, 2, 3. But I get what you're saying. That's why I kept telling people, like, you don't start with Fate Zero. But it's the prequel. It goes, all right, man, just do what you want. I'm tired. I can't. I just can't. But sorry, what were you gonna say, Vince?
No. I would just say I feel where you're coming from, Simmy, and I will agree with you to a certain extent. But at the same time, I feel like if the ending is shit, you just discredited the whole ride. Like, people love Bleach, but that's why people want the anime to go on so much. And like, I'm not even the biggest Bleach fan because it's just like, here's your favorite series, axe, and we just gonna throw some shit together. Or the writer throws themselves in a hole where they have to literally overcome shit that they did themselves. And if you talk about your series,
they're their own worst enemy.
Like, man, you can act like that shit don't exist. Yeah, so you can act like that shit don't exist, but it does. Like, how you make a series where almost niggas the whole last arc of your series, they immortal, they got powers that don't make sense, and realistically, it doesn't really make sense how any of the characters beat any of them. It don't. But here it is. That's your final arc. You just destroyed the whole ride. Cause just like here we go. And like you do things at a certain point where it could have ended right there. Like, for example, like I don't want to spoil it, but Shokugeki. I think in my honest opinion, Shokugeki should be over.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. It should have been over.
Yeah. But now it's going to continue to go. And for what?
It lost me though. So
exactly. Like, I don't want to read that shit no more.
I'll probably just pull up Niseko and read the last chapter. I think I'm out until the last chapter.
Too, though, like, you know what's coming. Like, they're introducing all these people, they're doing all this stuff.
No, I'm tired. I'm tired. I'm tired. They need to wrap that motherfucker up and draw some donuts.
If you want a good food series, Toriko out. If you want a good harem series done right, We Never Learns out.
Tenchu Muyo out.
Tenchu Muyo fire. Toriko. It's mid. The mid be hitting, but that's mid. Though.
It's fire though.
Nah, it's not.
Oh, that's it.
I wish Ken was here because Ken when Ken ready to roast Toriko, he got the panels and the screenshots ready. It's so funny, bro. I'll say this about Toriko if I move on to the next segment. Toriko's fine. It is what it is. And like I said, if there's one thing I appreciate is if you don't lie to me about what kind of series you're gonna be. What's the series about? Grown ass, big ass niggas. We eat food, throw hands. What did I get? Big ass niggas. Throw hands. All right. But here's my 3 issues with Toriko. One, I cannot take it seriously because I understand like it's a food role and everything, but when you're talking about my appetite, well, like the dude's like his backstory is on my app. I never get filled. I gotta eat everything. My appetite. I'm like, what? Man, I can't take this dialogue fucking seriously. What are you talking about? Like, this is a joke to me. So so Alan knows. It came to a point where I just look at the overview thumbnails of the whole chapter and I just look for action panels to right click and I don't want to read no words because I'm not trying to take this shit seriously talking about my calorie intake is bigger than yours. Like, bitch, if you don't shut the fuck up and just punch this nigga, I don't want to see this shit. 2, Komatsu.
Ah, man.
Come on. Oh, my God. They be twerking for that little nigga. I can't stand it. He's so ass. And 3, I'm sorry. There's no thoughts.
Yeah, I mean, I can agree with that. Like, you know, the women suck. I mean,
you got the one girl and the old lady. That's not enough.
You read Crows. Come on.
Crows is the only exception to that rule. Crows raw.
Broken Danashi Blues.
Nah, gay. All right, so
Wow.
I'm joking. A little bit. What makes a good fight scene for you guys in an anime? We'll start with that first before getting to like specific to the manga. But for an anime fight scene, what are the things that you guys look for?
For me, it's like story. The story has to be built up in a way where, like, you know, they're not just gonna throw hands for the sake of throwing hands. You know what I mean? Like, if that's what you're gonna do, fine. Like a martial arts or like, you know, it's already set up, like a Dragon Ball or something, whatever. But to me, for it to have any impact, like the characters have to have like something behind them that's the reason why they're fighting. And I say, like, you know, from manga in terms of like the choreography, like how it's drawn, like if it looks beautiful, like then I can get with it. If it looks like sloppy, it looks like someone's like, you know, kind of sketched it and whatever and stuff, that it's gonna kind of throw me off a little bit.
I think I would actually have to completely disagree. For me, the action scene don't got none. A good fight scene has absolutely nothing to do with the context. In anime, a good fight scene just has to have not even necessarily good animation, but both in manga and anime, a good fight scene needs to have impact. This is a very actual thing to say, especially for like FPS games. When you are playing an FPS game, right? Guns are heavy. They're supposed to feel heavy. They're supposed to feel meaty. Therefore, when you shoot it, it's supposed to have some oomph, some impact. You're supposed to feel it. I don't mean sluggish, like if you can carry a boulder or anything like that, but what I mean by impact, I mean oomph, like you feel it. Therefore, in fights, it should be the same thing. You should actually feel each impact. That's what you're saying earlier, like when you Ufotable's Fate UBW, everything just liquid, ain't got no impact. It's just shit flying around all over the place. You can't tell what's going on. A good fight scene needs to have impact, and this is very, very, very important, especially for manga since it has no motion. Like, for example, when I was reading Claymore, the art is freaking fantastic. But man, them fight scenes don't got no type of impact. They're throwing swords. I need to feel the clanging of metal together. It's just some little limp dick. Like, no, it didn't feel meaty. I need to feel the rawness. Like in Crows, when freaking Boya punches somebody, you feel that shit. You get that full panel, that full page panel of him punching the shit out of somebody's face. You see their face rippling and whatnot. You need to feel that impact. So if it doesn't have that impact, it's already going to be whatever.
What you, Alan?
For me, it's gotta be like it's a little bit of what Simmy says, but it's for me, it like a large part of it is the way that it's animated. Like, there's a lot to be said for like a fluidity in the animation, obviously, but it's just like the way that the fighting choreography is and whether like the fight actually fits with the internal consistency of the world, right? Like if you got two samurai going at it in like, you know, whatever, like 1800s, 1700s like scenario, right? Then that's the visuals that I'm expecting in that are like much more grounded in realism. If you're watching a fight in One Piece where like Mando have all kinds of abilities and like there's all this silliness going on sometimes as well, like then I have a different expectation in how the fighting is gonna pan out. So I think like all that comes together in how the fluidity of the motion is, and how the animation is done, and like that then like gives what like a little bit of what like Simmy is talking about when it comes to like the oomph, like you get that impact, right? And I think like that helps all that stuff come across.
Vince?
It's a little bit of everything that y'all said. I really care about choreography. Like I actually really do. I care about, because like honestly, I prefer fights where it's more hand-to-hand combat than them shooting a bunch of beams and shit. Because that shit just get old to me.
Yeah, you want to see what's happening. You want to know what's happening.
Yeah. I really care about stakes and atmosphere, because like I think some of my favorite fights or things like that is when a character knows they need to get like redemption, or they know they're gonna die at the end of the fight. Because then it's just like it feels something, you feel something, or like like, this is the end.
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't know, something about that type of stuff. Like just trying to think of some of like my favorite fights. Just thinking about it, it's just the stuff like that, because I really like have a reason, and I don't like fights. Obviously, I like a good balance between talking and throwing hands. Because sometimes like my problem with Dragon Ball Z is they just throw shit all the time, but I'll be like, all right, y'all doing the same shit over and over again. And then other fights like that, like we were talking about the Hisoka and Crollo fight, niggas just talking the whole entire time. I wish Hisoka would slap this nigga in his mouth in the middle of a sentence. Just shut up. But like, there gotta be a good balance of all that type of stuff.
Do you guys say like the literal execution of the fight, whether it be manga or anime, is more important, or the build up and reasoning behind the fight and what's at stake for the winner and loser, or shit, even a draw?
Execution, most definitely. Because again, you can have a hyped up fight and it could be freaking dog shit. Again, look at freaking Hisoka versus Crollo.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Hisoka's been wanting to freaking fight Crollo for how many arcs now? They finally fight, they fucking talk. So, like, come on.
I mean, for me, I think it's better to have a balance of both. If we're being real, like ideally, that's what you want. You want a little bit of both of those things to be happening, because the build up, I mean, you want that to be nice. That way, when the actual fight happens, like you feel like, okay, there's a lot at stake. That's why they're fighting so hard, right? It creates that reasoning.
Yeah.
And then when you actually have the fight, and the fight is like bumping, then that's also.
I'm gonna go with Simmy, because I want to give a definite answer. I'm gonna go with execution, because if you started off a manga, or you just threw like two random characters together, but in the middle of the fight, like you gave me a reason to care even more. Because even if they started a fight, it's like, oh, I don't care about this. But if you gave me a reason to care in the middle of the fight, that's better than building it up and then we got there, nigga got pooped on or something, bro.
I mean, I can agree with that, but like for me, I think the context also has a role to play in that, right? Because what if you're reading a comedy series and then you just jump into a fight, right? Like, I like the way that works out is different than if it was like, oh, something really serious happened just before this fight and now we're fighting. You know what I mean?
See, but that's what I'm saying. Like, if you gave that's why I said execution, because if you gave me a reason in the middle of a fight to care, then that's better. But I understand because it's a comedy series, but like, if you like, that's where like balancing the elements come. Like if we were having a slice of life series and the nigga just ran up on you, just smacked you in your jaw, but in the middle of the fight, you fucking fucked his girlfriend or something. Now there's stakes.
See,
he gotta run you to fame.
Wait,
I don't know. Like, I don't know.
So it's context. What's the context?
Yeah, I mean, for me, I like a good build up to my fights. You know, I don't want like a Monday Night Raw to slap two fucking wrestlers together that I don't give one fuck about. They can have a 4-star classic, go ahead, but I don't give a fuck if it's like repeated matches and like I guess then like, you know, in terms of it's a short-term series and they're just having the fights, whatever. But if it's like a long-term series, I guess I would like prefer like some context to it, like some build up, so that way when I get into it, execution or not, as long as like there's a reason from the fight, I'll give a shit about it.
Cause like, okay, so if I showed you a like very well executed fight scene, then you're like I said, in your opinion is well executed, but you have no idea what this show was about or whatever, no context. Would that interest you in the show?
Yeah,
Hello, look at freaking what?
me personally.
Didn't I say? I don't know if I said this on camera or whatnot, but y'all know how I got into Naruto. I got into Naruto through Naruto vs Sasuke. That's the very first episode I watched.
Oh yeah, I remember.
My opinion is 100% consistent. The very first experience I had with Naruto was Naruto vs Sasuke. I didn't know who the hell those two people were. All I knew that they was fucking fighting. That shit was absolutely clean. It made me want to watch it. And here we are. I experienced the whole series. So it's like
I watched Ippo fight somebody and like and it's like no, it must have been Takamura. He fought Hawk for the belt, and like I didn't know anything about it. And I was down there crying with them, and I didn't know anything about nothing that was going on. I was like, this nigga finally won the belt. I felt that.
From an episode of Baki a couple of days ago because of a friend. Yeah. And after I saw that, I was just like, I really don't care for this series. Like, I don't want to see this.
I'm kind of in that camp. I'm kind of in that camp where it's like you could show me out of context. I'm like, oh, that was well executed, and then go about my day and not think about it again. Because like I have no context. I don't care. I'm not invested in these characters or why they're fighting. Now, like kind of Vince said, like I guess he said he could feel why Takamura was like trying to fight for the belt and stuff. Like sometimes you get the context in the fight while it's happening. So I get a little bit of it. So I'm like, okay, I kind of get what's going on here. Because you're explaining stuff mid-battle, flashback, mid-battle, whatever it may be. But if you just literally show me the fight, I probably most times I won't care.
I think it's just kind of dependent on the anime because most anime and most fights aren't really good at balancing all that. Like most of them, like if you just saw like an action panel, if I go on YouTube right now and type in fights and I just see some, you're like, I'm not gonna care necessarily. I'm like, all right, that was cool. I'm not gonna remember.
Some high schoolers.
Probably, yeah.
Like high speed, massive destruction. That's all. That's like, don't get me wrong. I love that. You know, like I love your your galaxy chucking slugfest and a girl lagging shit. You know what I'm saying? But like I kind of always separated fights where it's kind of like the history, the build up, stakes / the circumstances, and then the literal fight itself. So like the execution. It's like when it comes to execution, I just like good choreography. I want shit to look cool and be cool. Like if it's not cool, I'm not enjoying it. It doesn't have impact. I'm not feeling it. I'm not feeling it right. I don't just like blur and then like Dragon Ball, like they go really fast. That shit sucks. I want to see the fight. Like I don't care about they're moving so fast. I just boom boom boom. That shit ugly, stupid. I don't care. Can I see him get punched in the face or block the punch? Like I want to see it. I want to feel it. And like the reason why I like Avatar fights so much because I think they're just well choreographed with the use of literal real martial arts and the elements of bending and stuff. I just like a beautiful dance to me when I watch two people fight. It's like to me that shit always been raw. And then conversely on the other side where it's this like crazy over the top action. The main reason why I really watched Ruby, which is like going to contradict what I said earlier, just because like that first trailer I saw with Ruby Rose going ham on those, this shit just looked really fucking cool. She got a goddamn sniper rifle. Death Scythe, like Crescent Rose, and he's just cutting through a horde of werewolves. I'm like, this is the coolest thing I've seen in a long time. That off the rip, I decided watching Ruby just because of that.
Oh, okay. So, go ahead, Simmy. Come on, go ahead.
I need to clear up something before, because people just they don't understand how folk talk. I'm not saying that context does not matter at all. That's not the question. The question is what makes a good fight scene. Not if context matters. Context most definitely matters. Build-up most definitely matters. Being invested in the story most definitely matters. However, that wasn't the fucking question. So all of that shit is good and very important for reading series and experiencing series. But solely what makes a fight scene good, in my opinion, is having that impact, making it feel like these people are actually fighting, and fighting hurts. Especially if they're fighting to the death. I don't need no freaking limp dick and type shit to feel all of the impact, every single hit, every single explosion, every single knockdown. Like I'm gonna use Karate Shokoshi Kohinata Minoru for an example. That manga is just every single fight, every single punch, every single kick, every single elbow. You literally feel that mess, and it is very context heavy. So it's just absolutely beautiful to watch. You see Kohinata get in the ring. He's fighting in whatever kickboxing, MMA organization, and they're fighting, and somebody lands a clean blow. Especially for fans who actually watch combat sports, it's very realistic. You see those clean blows, and they have that impact. And with manga, it's different because in actual combat sports, everything is happening so fast. You have to really pay attention, and most of the times, these guys, they have such hardened bodies. They basically no sell clean shots and whatnot, but in a manga you can really emphasize every hit, every stance, what they're doing. So when clean shots actually land, I feel all of that shit. And it doesn't even do no type Mortal Kombat type shit with the X-rays and whatnot. Nah, they don't do none of that. I absolutely love the X-rays. Don't get me wrong, but they don't do none of that at all. But you will feel those freaking heavy. Somebody takes a mid kick to the freaking ribs, you will feel. You get a full page panel of that freaking mid kick, and it's just absolutely amazing. Niggas need to freaking read karate. I don't know what's wrong with y'all.
I was gonna say I compare like a good fight to like if you show somebody, right, like an NFL wide receiver like highlight tape, right, and you see like a guy that you don't know, you just show him a random one, and you see him making all these crazy catches and stuff. He doing one-handers and toe tipping, but then like you wonder like why he not on a roster because he can't catch the basic shit. Like that's how I feel about like a fight. Like I feel like you have to have that good balance of all this stuff. Like I said, I agree with Simmy on like on the execution of it part, but like he said, all of this stuff really matters because like if you drop the ball and some of the other stuff, it won't matter one way or the other. It don't matter if you have good build up or good execution. If nobody gives a fuck about anything, like it doesn't matter.
I want to come back to what Nai was saying earlier though about like Dragon Ball Z fights. And how it's just like them flashing around and like you don't know what's happening. It's just like energy blasts being thrown around and shit.
Yeah, that's like, the difference between Dragon Ball Z and Super.
I can't keep my eyes can't keep up. They're moving so fast.
I'm just saying, like I think that like that's fine to show like maybe right at the beginning because then you have an understanding of like how quickly things are happening. But then once you get past that, then it has to come to actual blows. Like that's stuff that we need to see. It can't just be that all the time because otherwise what is the point of the visualization in the first place? We came here to see something. We didn't come here to like look at nothing, blank pages of just like flashes, you know what I mean?
Well,
like that's
right. And well the problem with that too sometimes is like fights like that or Dragon Ball, it's like Dragon Ball's been around so long, like I think it's bad when you have a fight or you have a series and it's just like wrestling where you don't believe the good guy's gonna lose. You don't believe there's no chance that he's gonna lose at all. Like you watch all of Super, Goku's not fucking losing.
Oh, you mean like it needs a sense of danger, right?
Yeah, there's nothing. There's no urgency. And I think, to be honest, I believe that's the most underrated part of a fight. The sense of urgency. Believe anybody's gonna if I don't believe the good guy's gonna lose, what was the point to me? Like you can
fairy tale.
Yeah, I never believed he was gonna lose. I'm waiting.
For Fairy Tail, I just wait for the speech, the friendship speech. Once Natsu says we're going back to Fairy Tail, I'm like, oh, that's done.
Yeah,
right. Here it comes, brilliant, shining, fire dragon, whatever the fuck, burning.
That's why I like One Piece so much. The fact that Luffy lost twice the crocodile was like real for me. That's probably still my favorite fight in the series, to be honest.
Hey.
And the thing is, though, it's like, I'm sorry to cut you off, Vince. It's like,
you good.
What really frustrates me about Ufotable's Fate UBW is that they just did not capture the essence of Fate at all. Yes, servants are very fast. Yes, they are way faster than humans. So, in theory, they should be moving that fast. However, look at how freaking Dean animated Stay Night. Look at how the PS2 openings for Real Tenua looked. It's fucking clean. You feel freaking all of Saber's slashes, and that shit is fast, but you could see what's going on. You could see her adding pressure onto whoever she's fighting. You could feel the oomph of every single attack that they block from her. You could feel how much power she has, and so on and so forth. So it's like, and just to see UBW come to this fucking liquid fest, it's just like freaking pouring blue Kool-Aid on top of red Kool-Aid. It's like so much garbage, man. It's like just making everything go ridiculously fast is not good. It's
putting it on 1.5 speed boost on YouTube.
Exactly. Like
I'm making it good, bro.
That is the absolute definition of cheap pop. Like, okay, I'm just make it go super fast, so it's good. No, stop.
But some people care about that epilepsy ass shit. It's like when they be watching A and Bs and they just be a bunch of fucking transitions. I'd be like, bro, you care about this, bro? It's just, what is this, bro?
Let me ask you guys a question, because this is kind of why I asked this, because I was thinking about this the other day. I think all the fights in My Hero, not all of them, but most of them, the literal fight itself, like All Might versus All for One, on a spectacle grand scale, watching that fight, I'm like, it's really not that interesting. They exchanged blows. He got pushed back. He came back. He got pushed back. He punched him. Then he turned mini. Then he punched him again, and he won. You know, like it wasn't that interesting in terms of what happened. What made the fight interesting was the context behind it. What was at stake. How it was a layered battle. Like, you know, it's a rematch. Revenge in a sense. Both of them hate each other. Also, it's a passing of the torch to their students. Like that fight was so layered in its symbolism. That's what made me invested in it. Now, after you think about what actually happened in the fight, I'm like, this is kind of not that great. Even just seeing like the symbolism of him trying to like hug the last vestiges of his power and then putting the thing at the end, like all of that stuff to me made the fight great. But the fight itself, I'm like, I'm good, Chief. Not that great.
I can agree with that. Like you literally hit it on the head. That's the exact situation that I found myself in when I was reading it too. So I was just like, yeah, this makes perfect sense.
That's what happens when you start thinking too hard too. I'll be like, damn. I really want to enjoy this, but my brain said, Chief. But I think like if it gets animated too, sometimes I feel like it's the way, like we always make fun of like, you know, the animation, how dramatic they are, but the way it's directed has like a big, you know, impact on how these things go or how you feel about a fight.
What do you think, Laz? You've been quiet for a while.
Yeah, My Hero, like in terms of My Hero's fights, or like just in general. Like...
Well, that was the example I used, where I was like, the thing that made me invested in the battle was all the things that mattered, like the build up and everything behind it. Yeah. But the actual fight itself to me is alright.
Yeah, I guess it depends too, because it's like, you know, you have a lot of fights that could be done within like, you know, 2-3 chapters. Like, because the thing is, like, I remember like back in the day when Naruto was even going ongoing and stuff, like people were like, oh, we need these 10, 15, 20 chapters of throwing hands. And I'm like, do we really need that much time to really like go into that detail? Because by that point, it just becomes boring. Like you're going to get something done within a chapter of a fight. As long as like everything like flows through perfectly, like it's all good. Like I mean, My Hero, for example, like I do like the All Might versus All for One fight, but I'd be lying to you if I said that was my favorite, because it's not. Like for me, my favorite fight in My Hero would probably be the Lemillion fight with Overhaul. We know the result with that one, how it went, but the story in that was just far more beautiful, I think, because we knew where All Might was going to be after the fact. Oh, I didn't know that was going to happen until Lemillion, you know, without saying spoilers, but like, you know, it just depends on the impact too of the characters. Like All Might, listen, man, that man gonna die eventually. You know, Muriel's out.
I like All Might, but
man. Oh, you're not gonna like that Ken slander on the TL then.
Oh, he was going at the big three. Yeah, you going at it. But Ken's Abe. Don't worry about it.
Sun Eater, the GOAT.
Yo, people need to respect that guy. All right, he's been putting in fair work. All right,
yes.
We're not.
I don't know about Nezri. The Nezri, hey, we can let that keep going.
Is that the girl? That's the girl, right? Yeah, I don't know. You have a preference when you guys watch a fight? Like you like hand to hand, guns, magic, swords?
I love guns.
I'm weird on guns because it's like
I love guns. Whoa.
Here's for example, like a gun fight, like Tales of Exilia 2. They had like one sequence. Simmy, you remember, like with Luger and like his alter ego. There's like that fight where like shooting like the guns up close. I like shit like that, but I'm at the same time I think it could be boring because it's like, hey, you're gonna have to shoot from long distances, and like unless like it's like Usopp end of series where he was shooting from islands and shit, I'm not gonna sit around and watch a guy just chill in a little hut waiting to shoot someone. Like I need up close fights.
I feel you, lads. Because I'm gonna be honest with you, I've only seen one gunfight I felt was done like just truly beautiful, and that was Madoka Magica.
Hey.
Fucking,
that was clean with the time stone.
Yeah, man. That was the best because I love guns, so I'd be so sad that they can't execute it at all. Nobody knows what they're doing with the gun. So it's sad, but I love guns.
Yeah, but for me, I'm a hand-to-hand guy. Like close quarter combat, man. Like this is what I live for.
Same. Big same. That's why freaking Crows out, Worse out, Sugarless out, Karate out, out, Ipo out.
Let's go.
Rikudo out. Like
that's probably why I didn't pick hands though, because there's so many great examples of hands. I'm like, I want to see somebody do some greatness with something that's not hands.
Yeah.
What about you, Alan?
For me, it's hands. I definitely like swords. Like good sword fighting is always really nice.
Yeah.
But what I'd like to see more of is maybe spear fighting or archery. I think both of those would be really sick.
Lancer
No.
out. Shout out to my boy Kulan. You know,
But Lance be getting that fodder though. But Lancer be building that photo model.
Nah, chill on my mans. Chill on my mans.
Like,
I like weapons. Like, hands are always good, but like it doesn't have to be swords. Like if you have like a glaive and the other person has like like I don't know what tonfas like I like I just like
yeah, like a sensei.
Tonfas, the rice bowl.
Yeah, I like weapons. So if you got a lance, you got some kind of fucking Ember Cecilia shotgun gauntlet, whatever it may be, some cool weapon like
a yo-yo.
Yo-yo out, man. That shit be cool too.
Gameron out.
You got some fucking teched out shoes, whatever it may be. Like I just like cool like gadgets and gizmos and stuff like that. So that's really
key. Knife play is great.
It's so funny because it's like, okay, my two favorite series, Kinnikuman and Fate, right? Well, Kinnikuman, they're fucking wrestling, and Fate, they all got weapons. So it's like, what the fuck am I talking about?
Hey, wrestling is heads, my guy.
Hey, he like that chain grabbing. They chaining the grab.
Listen,
dropping someone on their head, it's fire, bro. Like pile drivers and shit.
The graphic fighting,
all the suplexes, chokeholds, man. Like,
don't play with me, son. Not only is wrestling gold, but just freaking sprawling itself is gold. Like this is why I watch combat sports. People say in MMA when they freaking get on the ground is boring. Hell no, that's next thing. MMA is one of the most tactical things ever. I was just watching one championship yesterday. The main event, it was for a women's title. That fight was so god tier because the challenger just had the greatest defense on the floor I've ever seen in my life. She got out of like freaking 4 different armbar attempts and whatnot. She completely guarded herself from getting ground and pounded. It was just absolutely amazing. Sprawling is out, wrestling out. That shit is amazing. But the thing with weapons though is just that a lot of series just go to the very basic swords. That's it.
Yeah, that's an easy way out.
It's just swords. It's like I'm getting fucking tired of seeing swords, man. I mean, yeah, Shiro gimmick aside, my body is made out of swords. UBW out. Yes, I know, but still, the second I see main character come, he got a black hair, spiky black hair, medium length black hair, pull out a katana, I'm sleep.
That's my issue. That's my issue is that they don't use different type of swords. It's not even that they just use swords because I love swords, but they only use a katana. I'm like, y'all know this is not the only sword that exists, right?
Katana or a buster sword, that's it. Like, come on, dude.
We got rapiers.
I mean, like that's what they got going on.
You get what you're getting a classic katana or you get a skyscraper-esque fucking
sword as long as you are, if not longer. Ridiculous.
That's why Saber out, her bastard sword, Excalibur out. Don't play with me, man.
I'm not gonna lie, but I used to
archery scenes.
Games, that play Lloyd had the raw swords, bro.
I like rapiers. They look cool.
Yeah, I mean, when you mentioned like the tonfas, for me, like I grew up on Dynasty Warriors, so like you're in like Sunsei with like the tonfas just fucking whacking dudes and shit. Like that's hype.
Yeah, tonfas are all been good. Like I lead like Gin. You got to put the balls on and Hibari. Ooh.
Yeah. I've always been a big fan of like the chain and ball and stuff. If you ever heard of the character by the name of God, they'll have like the chain and ball just start fucking whacking people's skulls and shit. Like, it's so dope.
And the thing
it takes more creativity.
Yeah. The thing about guns though is that guns has to be easy, in my opinion, the most difficult thing for Japanese people to actually like make.
Yeah, it is. They don't know what to do with that. They don't know their gun laws.
Yeah, they don't got no fucking guns over there. They don't know. And the funny thing is though, it's like, all right, you think of guns, right? So then you have movies like The Matrix, but then where Matrix got its inspiration from? Fucking movies from what's his name? Damn, what's that Chinese guy name? I just had his name and he's fucking gone. Dang. But,
let it go, yo. It'll come to you later.
But they had a whole freaking genre called gun fu, and you have all those Chinese movies. They not throwing hands. They freaking got guns, and it's absolutely amazing. They
Equilibrium
and all that shit.
Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah. Gun fu, yo.
Yeah, all that shit. And then when you have, I think it's especially hard with freaking manga because you can't draw. Well, I mean they can, but they can't show the movement of a bullet flying through the air, right? So when I see a person pull out guns in the manga, I'm like, oh boy, here we go. He just shooting it, just bang, 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 bang. I said, okay, so where's the bullet? Where did it go? Did he dodge it? Let me see the trajectory of the bullet, so on and so forth. I think it's really challenging for them. But now that scene in Madoka Magical where Mommy was absolutely gold. It is kind of silly looking at it, seeing her dance around her fucking UBW shotgun shit. But
no, that was beautiful. I loved it every minute.
But nah, it was absolutely fantastic. I think even though I haven't seen a second of Black Lagoon, I think they might have done a good job with fucking guns in that show because
nobody knows how to do it as a form of a quote unquote fight.
It's okay. Like Revy Raw and stuff, and they're cool with their guns, but I mean they still be missing a lot.
That's true too. Nobody's like a sharpshooter.
Can't hit nobody. So I mean, how important is music if you're watching it though? Music matter to you?
Oh no, super important.
Well, the music
no music at all.
I'm so weird in it because it's like I don't know. Would you consider like certain sports series that have like an actual quote unquote fight, like not like a boxing, but say like a basketball match or something, like, an actual match?
It counts. I know what you mean because like I consider the game to be the substitute for the fight.
Yeah, exactly. So like let's say example like an EPO, like if you hear like the weight of my pride playing in that background, it turns up the fight to the next level. When they play
every AMV with that song is so good.
Yeah, bro.
I cry almost every time.
Dude, there was one point where I was taking a class for music and they put on a movie, and what it was, they put the movie on mute and then they would play different tracks like to go along with what is happening. So it was taken from like a horror film scene and there's this person like running through the forest, right? So obviously when you play the scary music, it's like, oh my god, like that person about to get big murdered right now, red flags. Then they turned that off, they went back, and then they played it again, except this time with like really happy, upbeat, like full cheery music. You're like, yo, this person's gonna go through a night run, yo. You just go through a stroll through the forest. Yo, this man's chilling, yo. That's the kind of thought that comes across. So music plays a crucial role in like deciding
it captures the tone basically of everything. If you don't like, I feel like some of the best ones too. Like, I mean, again, we slander Naruto, it's like crazy, but like when Naruto Sasuke fought without like the music playing, I thought that was a great choice because like, do you really need some crazy ass dubstep music going for like what's been set up for that fight?
I'm behind,
like none of that shit. Like quiet, nothing, like 0 nilch. Like I'm good with that too. Like,
facts.
But at the end of the day, the music allows you to characterize something that can't be
definitely.
visualized. You know what I mean? Like it catches the abstractionism of like what is happening.
Right?
Having certain fanfares come in at the right volume, at the right moment, it just helps. I think music is important for
exactly
when you're watching.
Man, that Bleach, but that nothing will be the same. That shit killed me.
It has great OSTs too. I kind of like what I like from the anime is like it's consistent with its animation and stuff, but like the music, man, bro, it makes things another level.
Yeah, man.
All I'm gonna say is Shiro pulling up to freaking Einsburn Castle, Arch at the top of the stairs. He says, "I am the bone of my sword." Emiya kicks in. That's it. If you know, you know. If you don't, you don't.
I was gonna ask you guys, like name me some of your favorite and most notable fights from any anime or manga, like some of your favorites.
For me, like we were just talking about Ippo before, but for the longest time, I think it's still in my top 2, Ippo versus Sendo Part 2, because that fight, because of one, like the first fight, how it happened, like Sendo, what happened with him, and like we knew there was gonna be a second fight. This time, Ippo going for the title. But the fact of how close Ippo was just going towards him, like trying to get this W, and it looked like Sendo was about to get the win, and then the opening song plays before he just rips him to shreds. And look, Sendo's my favorite character in the series, but I would be lying to you if I would say I wasn't rooting for Ippo. I was like, yo, this is fucking fire! Like,
what about you guys?
For me, Gentoki versus Oboro. I love that.
Yo, from Court City?
Yeah, bro. Hamura versus Mami and Shiki from Guard Centers versus
I don't know what that is. Yeah.
Versus anybody. And like, every fight she had was just go. Her versus anybody. Just book it.
Gotcha.
Fight of the year. And Kenshin versus Saito.
Hey.
Even though fuck that guy.
Which one? Saito? Which one?
Manga stuff, right?
Oh, okay, the manga, yeah.
No, yeah, the manga writer. Still go. Kenshin. It'll never be taken away from me, but fuck that guy.
Yeah. Hey, listen, you know what I want to say this right now, kind of break kayfabe a little bit. For those writing in the comments, right? Put a 1 if you read Kenshin before the scandal. If you did, you're a good person. If you read it after, I don't know what to say.
Wow. You have any in mind on top of your head, Alan?
Oh yeah, I got a bunch. Well, Alan, go first.
Oh, okay. Thank you. I appreciate it. I was gonna go first, but all right.
That was it. Thank you.
Vagrant Soldier Ares. Oh man, not enough people read that, but yeah, sure.
Damn.
Anyway,
Damn.
there's one really like iconic fight that happens where there's this kid who's like he's been living his whole life like being this like servant and what have you, and he just like decides that okay, I'm gonna join the Black Knights like once they see him and his spear work. So oh man, like to see him fight with his spear is amazing, and just like the greenness of the drawing helps to like bring that out because everything that the manhwa artist uses is like he uses his own personal pen, right, in order to draw things. So to see him do all that stuff, and it's like he has a background as well as like he's a performer almost in that like he uses like he has bangles on his legs, so like he has a dancer's almost kind of like poise when he like fights, so that comes across really well. And so he's fighting against these people who are like sword users, right? So he does a bunch of like very fancy like jumping through the air, like swinging off of his like spear. He whips out his spear, like keep them at a distance and stuff. Oh man, it's just like amazing to watch that fight happen. And then right at the end too, like the stuff that happens with him story wise is like mind blowing. Oh man, super tragic, super amazing though. Oh
shit. I was gonna say I actually a couple more, but I'll wait till after Simmy because I only just put 1.
Well, I mean, I already listed a few freaking going through this episode. Naruto versus Sasuke from part 1, obviously. That fight is like period swan song. Like I don't know what the hell they was on. I don't know what they were smoking back then. That shit was.
They're off that good gamma gas.
Yeah, they were. I mean, like damn near fucking perfection. Like I had no idea who these two characters were. I felt all of that emotion in that fight, blow for blow, the impact of every single hit. It was just absolutely amazing. That fight.
Take a shot for every time Simmy said impact this episode.
Drinking him right now. Fire.
But let's see what else. Fucking Shiro versus Archer, most definitely. The beginning part of what I just described, when freaking Archer slashes Shiro in his back, and he tells him to give up, and then Shiro he looks up at him and he says, my body is made out of swords. And it's just like, oh my fucking god. Again, if you know, you know. If you don't,
you know.
And then again, Shiro versus Gilgamesh in the same route. And Shiro says to Gilgamesh, do you have enough swords in stock, King of Heroes? It's just that, oh my lord, I can't even describe it. Again, if you want to know, play the damn visual novel. All I gotta say about that. Kanika Man versus Warsman, most definitely. I'm sorry, light spoilers for the both of y'all, but
oh good.
It's freaking high stakes, mask versus mask, god tier ending, god tier finish. It's just so much good from both men. Freaking Warsman is just absolutely fantastic. That's my robot Chojin. He's scary. The voice acting was superb. And all the special moves you got to see, the Apollo special, Furin Kazan is just, oh my god. Another one would have to be Robin Mass versus Mammoth Man or Mamos Man, if you freaking want to go with the actual Japanese name from the Scramble for the Throne arc. All I gotta say is, I ain't even gonna say nothing about that. Just, man,
it's raw.
It's just too fucking raw, man. It's just so damn raw. And that's off the. I think that's it for the top of my head. The most others I have to think of are just in manga. I don't want to tackle that.
Yeah,
so Kashi versus Rakuzan out.
Yeah, I was gonna say real quick before I get them to his like Luffy Lucci for me. Bradley versus Scar.
Yo, that was sick, man.
For me personally, Joe versus Rikishi, without saying what happens, but that fight was fucking phenomenal. Amazing ending. I one from the movies really, but like for Detective Conan, they had a certain fight between my favorite characters that went down, and the animation for that was godly. Akai Suichi and Toru Amuro, amazing stuff. And the last one I want to throw in there, it has to be from JoJo. And it's like just a classic one to me, but like Jotaro versus Dio. Like I really like how it was done both ways in the anime and the manga.
Nah, bro. When Joseph uses his last breath to tell that nigga to run, And
Yes.
Jotaro just walks towards him, and Dio's like, "Oh, like you're gonna come towards me? Like, can't kick your ass if I'm this far away." I'm like, "Nigga, let's do this." I was so fucking ready. That shit was so gangster. I'm about to list. Like,
roller, man.
I'm about to list like 100,000 fucking fights. But
Let's go.
Hana versus Guriko. Oh,
Hey, that's a classic.
beating him with the fucking chair, and he got back. Oh my god! Don't play with me. That shit was raw. Himura Kenshin versus Makoto, Shishio Makoto. I love that fight. That shit to me was amazing. Like the fight itself was like kind of okay, but just like the old versus the new. Build up was just it was awesome.
Anime or the manga for that?
I don't know, both. I like both, but
I feel like the manga
more though.
Yeah, the manga, did a way better job, I think.
They had that redone one too. It was okay. I'm gonna kind of like I'll talk about it after, but I did like Misaka Makoto versus Mugino. So it was like this is from like a railgun, right? So this is 2 level 5 espers facing off against each other. Fucking Misaka was on her Spider-Man shit, just using her electricity to just cling to the walls and jump around. It was so fucking fire. From Sunken Rock, Ken versus that fucking Korean other dude. What's his name? Kim Ban something. You know what I'm talking about from Sunken Rock?
Yeah.
That fight was crazy. That was OD good. I hate God of High School, but the fight with Jin Mori versus the karate dude was raw.
Yeah, man, that was good still.
Lee, I like Lee Shaoran versus Lee Shaoran.
Oh shit! On Tsubasa,
the clones. Oh,
man.
that last
That
one
was a serious reveal, my guy. Oh
Yeah.
my goodness! And with the magic powers, bro. Like that was ungodly.
Blackstar Mifune. Bro, let me tell you something. One of the most satisfying punches in my life was when Toma landed that clean hit against Accelerator. Oh, it was so satisfying because this guy was untouchable for so long. And fucking Tomo's supposed to be on level 0, like he's whack. He can't, and he just blocks him.
Supposed to be.
Oh my god! After everything happened with all the sisters, and you just got one fucking death fight. I'm like, oh, that was one of my most satisfying punches ever. I mentioned Olga versus Takamiya. I love that fight. What do you think about Frankenstein and Rajak? Alan, that was dope from Noblesse.
Yeah, that was a sick one.
The Kurtia, I love that one.
Yo, because especially when what's his face, Rail's brother makes his final stand, bro. Oh, that got me, yo.
It's gonna sound weird, but I feel like low-key the best fight in Reborn was between 2 Waste characters, and that was Ryohoi and the other dude, Aoba, with the from the field.
Yeah, yo, what was that about?
Like these characters are not important. Like Ryohei is trash. I can't believe he has the sickest fight in this series. I'm like, bro, this shit is gangster as hell. Like,
honestly, on a thing though, like that was actually the last fight in my mind that she wrote properly.
yeah,
Because after that, like fights happened like one chapter. It was in and out. We were done. You know what I mean? That was the last time that she really like went all out with like how the characters are gonna interact, what their fighting style is, like what they're gonna do to like make it work out. And the fact of the matter is that like that's the first time that they lined up against people who are their actual equal in terms of like combat skill. Because the Earth Flames versus the Sky Flames, right?
yeah, it was dope.
Changed it up. That was
I can't believe, but that fight was amazing. Toriko versus Darjin.
Yes.
That's awesome.
Oh my god.
I already mentioned the Daiga versus the anti-spirals, but I guess you could get Shimon versus the anti-spiral. I love that fight.
Oh yeah.
Zephyr and Luffy.
Mm-hmm.
I can't believe Alan and Thing didn't mention, but Rinda Man versus Boya round 2. Oh my god! Don't play with me with that fight.
Round 1 got me too.
Round 2. Oh my, yo, what he's here. But like, let's go with the glasses on. Oh my god!
I'm just saying. I thought that we were just doing one at a time. I didn't realize everyone's gonna be coming out with their favorite fights here, because then I would have thrown in the Gantz one where they fight the 100-point one, because that was fucked. All right, let's be real. Because they beat the other teams too from Osaka showing up, and those mans are getting slapped. Like that was a vicious fight. That was a full war zone.
One of my favorite animated fights from Sword of the Stranger, No Name versus Luo Lang. Oh my god, that fight is OD crazy. Everyone knows my favorite fight is Monkey D. Luffy versus Rob Luffy. I don't think anyone doesn't know that at this point. I talk about it all the fucking time. That fight is the peak for me. But I don't know, man. Fight's out. Shit, bro. We can. No, go ahead.
Misawa versus Kobashi. No
Hey.
one.
Hold on. Misawa versus Kawada, June 3rd, 1994. Just one second.
Oh my god! I
That's
just have to get that goal out there.
But I mean, fight's out. Like I wanted to just keep going, but we actually been talking for like.
Oh, there's one I forgot. My Cellman Kingdom, bro. Kame and Mobu, Rinko and Shin. Oh,
Yeah, Rinko for Shin is gangster. It's amazing.
Bunch.
Obviously, it's amazing. Like, even if you go into like TOG, we can talk about fucking Kaiser versus
Oh yeah.
Bam, Viola,
Iwa, man.
yeah, Ragwell, bitch, Angel.
Is it Ring? Okay.
I don't know, but I know Ragwell's one of the I know. Dada Jaha versus Bam. That was
That's a fucking amazing fight, man. Honestly, Jesus Christ.
Dude, the black butterfly. All right,
Yeah,
that was that shit.
The second this man said, "Yo, he has the power to shake the world," and this is you when you were like a pipsqueak, man. Like you didn't know how to buy clothes at the store, man. Like
clearly not. Look at this fucking pants. The drip. I don't see it though. But
I'm saying he got grown, so it's all good.
Yeah, I mean, let's say the other stuff from the episode because we have been talking for 2 hours already.
Oh, shit.
I didn't realize we were going this long, so we will slander my hero another day. I mean, we could. Nah, fuck, we'll do it now. Yeah, whatever. I just think like that. It should take a long time to render, but yo, my hero's fine. It's cool, but that shit not hidden. I don't know. I'm bored again in the manga. I'm always bored though. My interest wanes. It comes in and goes depending on what's happening and who the focus is.
Yeah.
But I mean, say what you guys gotta say. Say your piece on it. And
I mean, it's weird, man, because like I feel like the reason for the slander is like the thing with the community, like they're losing their minds regarding like how the certain episode that came out today with the big three, and like I guess the portrayal of Overhaul. Because for us who've read the manga, we know how this kind of panned out with Overhaul. Like he started off good, getting trashed at the end. But like when you got like his design right now in the anime is kind of like a Deku 2.0, where like there's no sauce whatsoever going with them. It's like people are just losing their minds. They're like, "Fuck, man, this is supposed to be our main antagonist of this arc. He looked trash in the anime." Off of that one little thing, yeah.
Yeah, I see them give him the bald head and put the cowboy hat on him.
Cowboy hat and shit, yeah. And, man, you got putting Orphe back on his private. But anyways, shout out to my boy. Shout out to my boy. Shout out to my boy.
Poor guy.
Shout out to my boy.
That's rough, yo.
Oh, Lord. I don't know. I didn't see the episode yet, but I heard people were not happy.
I liked it and stuff. Like it was good, but I feel like because now it's like next week's the last episode and stuff. I feel like they're trying to get like they're gonna obviously trying to like get to as much they can done at a certain point where it's like they can still hype up season 4 afterwards. But it just to me, it's like it's not gonna change the fact that like it's a great arc, but could have been like a classic had like they handled things I guess at the end better. And like certain characters that they introduced here that just really didn't play that much an important role towards the end.
I think that part with Deku and Overhaul, when he had Eri on his back, that shit was mid.
Mm-hmm.
That
was a wiggity whack.
He got beat by a fucking lolly, and like, not my dog.
I mean, it made sense to me. I thought that like him finally using like 100% was cool, but
it's not that it didn't make sense. I just didn't think it was cool. It sucked. It wasn't the grand finale I wanted for that arc. And Night Eye dying, I don't fucking care.
Well, I didn't like how they handled the whole Overhaul thing, but like outside of that, I thought it was alright.
Yeah, I mean, I was sad for the Night Eye stuff for me because I'm always a sucker for like sensei student kind of thing, like Shoyo, Gintoki, kind of like that, like Kenshin and like his sensei and stuff. So like for me, like when I saw it, like I felt, especially for Mirio, man, I think that I felt more bad for Mirio because of like that was his goddamn like teacher and stuff, like who like helped him come up and everything, and having to like see him go be like that, and like if he has quirk, he could still like do what he needs to do. Then like it wouldn't be that bad. But the man's quirkless. He has nothing. He's losing everything around him and stuff. I felt more bad for him in this situation more than I was for Night Eye.
That arc could have been so much better than it was.
Yeah.
But
mean,
Mirio carried it on his back.
Yo.
Tamaki did his thing.
Mirio's the man.
I'm like, he's
Him,
that's my man's. That's my man's. I like him a lot.
Mhm.
I feel like he saved that series for me because I probably would have dropped it. He came on his fucking Shadow Cat gimmick. I'm like, yes, this guy's phasing through Wama. This is awesome. He's dope. We folded the whole class. I'm like, yeah, fuck these niggas. You better than them.
Yeah.
I just read the draft today too. I'm like, I don't care. I thought it would be interesting because the Hawks was involved. Now I do like Tokoyami, but I don't know. I wasn't really hitting. He's like, I'm flying. He had this shit in the club. But this is not cool. Not cool, bro. It's not cool.
I was expecting some AOE shit at least with his blood, but nah.
I thought he was going to take flight. I'm like, no, he's like on some Buzz Lightyear gliding with style. Like, it's not even true flight. Like, I'm gonna move this from my face. It's garbage.
Yeah. And then they got the Maple Story girl coming in.
Mushrooms. I'm like, bro, who are you? Why do you?
Mori, man.
People are like, oh, he's trying to make you care about 1B. I'm like, good fucking luck.
Listen, man, the character I care about the most on that side is the kid with the fucking manga speech bubble for a head. That man's on a broken ass ability, I'm telling you.
Yo, that's gonna be funny. Him and Wash. Just watch him.
Bro, this man Nye never fails to find a character.
That's what I'm saying, bro. Like water jelly. Now we go to wash. Like,
bro, remember the one hero? He's just a tap. It's like a tap, like a tap water. Like you open like the fucking sink.
Wait, my God. Like, because I know that they showed him, I think in this week's episode.
Yeah. I don't think he's I don't think he's named or important, but I remember seeing him like this nigga is just a tap, bro.
The best was like someone actually put like, how do you eat?
I love goofy shit like that, man. I think my comics background just gives me this love for like this goofiness and stuff. So like when I see stuff like that, I laugh. Like, I don't need things to be all super serious and cut myself on the fucking edge of everyone's fucking darkness and shit. Like I'm good, bro. Fun out. Like I don't need you to be edge all the time. Like I said, superheroes back in the day, you just slap on some pajamas, put some underwear over it, and you go throw hands in the streets. Now it's like, no, your actual suit is made out of polymer armor. Okay, man, can you just put some pajamas on, please, and just go drop kick somebody? I don't care. It's shock absorbent. No, it's pajamas.
That's why this house, man,
no.
That's why in this house we rate Captain Underpants quite highly.
Hey, wow. Captain Bobette.
Damn,
let's go.
That's my childhood.
Man, I went to those Scholastic book things or whatever. They also have them all the time.
I have all of them.
Save.
And then I think when I hit the 5th grade, I know this is off topic, but like finally when I was in like French and English, so now I can get the English one. But then it was weird at that point where I'm like, Captain Underpants. That's always Capitaine Bobette for me. So I just kept using the French.
Yeah. Oh,
but okay, so I guess we might as well go to the last part. So Hunter x Hunter is back. It's not Hunter x Hunter. Oh, fuck you guys. Hiatus x hiatus. How do we feel? How much do we care?
I mean, the first chapter, like if we're without saying too much into it, it's like it's an essay again. It's a lot of like you literally can wiki it, honestly, like a lot of the speech bubble shit to like get to the point of what's going on. I mean, yeah, interesting thing of like the fucking Sales then beast being like consumed by what I assume was the guards ability to think. I mean, that's cool in a sense, but like I need to be Sunday already in their time. It's still fucking Wednesday for them, but it's like for us, man, how many years we on this fucking boat already?
So real quick,
the points, like get us there. Whoever our one king is, let me see this fucking dark content before he's in the coffin. Like,
let's say real quick, was this the chapter they were hyping up? I'm guessing not.
No. So basically, so kind of gotta go backstory. So with the manuscript that was shown, most of the time that's for a chapter that's either 2 or 3 away. Sometimes what mangakas do, in Togashi's case, if he's bringing 10 chapters a year, he'll file those chapters into them. They overlook it to make sure that's fine. And if let's say there's a problem, he'll have to rewrite some stuff. But I guess when they sent those chapters in, among those chapters, and given the pattern of how Togashi does things, so let's say, for example, when he came back the one time, the second chapter after we got was Crollo versus Hisoka. Then the next time he came back afterwards, right, the second chapter, we revealed to all the Nen beasts for the princes and stuff. I'm going to go with that same pattern. It's probably the next chapter, or at least in the coming chapters, Whatever Togashi's hyping up, the editors are hyping up, it's gonna come. But this definitely was not it.
Damn.
Listen, Togashi's gonna die before he finishes it, so he could draw his little 4 or 5 chapters all he wants. All I know is the story's never gonna get finished to completion, so I don't care. So they could be on a boat for the next 4 years. I don't care.
Yeah, me and Simmy are in the same wave, yo.
Did you guys? Did anyone else read it?
No, I don't care.
Damn, man.
Nah.
I didn't read it either. I don't give a fuck. I don't know how you understand. I can't go through this many hiatuses and stay invested. I'm sorry. Like immersion ruined. I'm gone. I don't care.
Like if he ever gets around to finishing it, I'll consider coming back to it. But
I'm gone like Ging.
Then I'll read it. Until he's as long as he's breathing, I ain't reading it.
I don't know, man. I understand the fans, man. I get it. Your series out, enjoy it. You know, have a good time. But I am super good, fam. I'm like, you know, because the thing about me is like I used to have a problem where I would still get curious. So no matter what, I was still like Fairy Tail sucks. But damn, I'm just what's happening? I'd be curious. So I drop it and come back in 4 months. Like I'm not even like I don't even care.
Not even that. Yeah.
Like
It's
I'm
been
like
too long, man. Like
How long? Talk about the Dark Continent since I was like in the 5th grade. What the?
bro.
Nigga, we not getting there.
On. Like what?
oh my
Like,
goodness.
you can't just keep doing this. Like if you go on that many hiatuses, there's no way you're gonna keep people invested. Like
No, he playing them, bro. He come once every 2 years with 10 chapters, make a volume, and rank in the cake. Watch the Yen stack.
You are, Alan. People really are. People really are in that invested.
He call all the people, but I respect it.
Yeah, he can do whatever he wants, bro.
right.
He be out there playing Dragon Quest and going to movies and stuff like.
the 11th one out, yo. The 11th one out. So.
But again, let's not get it twisted. Hunter x Hunter 2011 is still one of the best anime I ever watched. It's some of the most fun I've ever had watching anime, period. It is a fantastic series. I love it to death. I absolutely love all the characters. And then, even though it's just fucking chalk with a personality test, I love everything about it. However, until it is 100% stopped being it completed, he's retired, he's dead, whatever, I'm not reading it. Until it's 100% confirmed, never getting a new chapter again,
Yep.
I'm not reading it. Until then, I'm good. Y'all could have that. Y'all could wait 2 years, 4 years, or 10 chapters and whatnot. Yearly, freaking annual manga, not even weekly, bi-weekly, annual manga. Not my manga.
Yeah, treating me like this. I ain't a sucker, so I'm good. But
listen, at the end of the day, my mangakas that have been writing since 1979 is still writing today consistently. Period.
That's what
I'm getting
There you
fed.
go.
That's what I said, bro. I don't know about y'all, but my series come out consistently. Sip tea. I'm good.
Yeah.
Any closing comments?
One Piece out.
Tower got out.
Just don't be a freaking crackhead. Don't be a dickhead, man. Stop using the buzzwords. And just as I said at the video game podcast, broaden your horizons. Just try to read stuff out of your comfort zone. Give things a chance. Get your head out of your own ass. Stop being a hype beast. Stop being an elitist. That goes for both anime and manga. Just freaking have fun. Stop taking everything so seriously. Just have fucking fun.
Wait, aren't you an elitist though?
I am.
That's part of our religion. That's a different thing, you know.
Listen,
You can't escape that.
That's just because I do that and I gatekeep doesn't mean you gotta do it. Okay, be better than me.
I'm just gonna put it out there though. Liar game completed, so read it. Outside of that,
I know.
like that. This is bare facts. Like Simmy said it, you know, like go out there, try things, because at the end of the day, you never know what you might find, and you're just like, yo, that hits, right? Romance, comedy, sports, whatever it is, everybody's got their own thing. Like, and you'd be surprised. Like it's like wine, you know. You gotta find the one that you like. So
you know what? I like tweeted this earlier, but like I never used to be a fan of fantasy, high fantasy, but I think over the years it's grown on me. I really like high fantasy now.
Hey.
So
see,
like
that's
I'm
what
in
you
there.
want. That's what you want.
So basically, my last comment before we end this is Zoro trash.